Did you guys complete that assignment? Were you guys able to do it?
Yes.
So
Okay.
please share your screen and we can do it. If the job server was not working, I'm still expecting you to develop that code, at least the workflows, data flows. And if the job server is not working,
The same data flow imported both the tables.
perfect. Can you show me? Can you share your screen?
Just give me some. I'm connecting to RDP. I'll just wait.
Hey, Brad,
Okay.
Prasad here. Meanwhile,
Yeah, Prashad.
yesterday I was not like facing some issues with my system. I tried to complete the activity, but I guess yesterday when you were trying to add the repository, right, database, which I'm still not able to do it. So maybe
Sir,
whenever
please
you get
share.
a time.
Please, no. I have all the time for you, sir. Please share your screen. We can do it right now.
Yeah. Let me know once you are able to see.
Yeah.
Is it visible?
Yeah.
Okay. So here I
Don't see anything. Sir, please click on tools. Perfect. Good.
just minimize. Yeah.
Please click on tools, and then go to central repositories, third last. No. Okay. Now, okay. Please click on Isaac material. Right click on it. Get latest version. Objects and dependents. We are done.
Okay.
Perfect. Now I would expect you to create that data flow and extract Mara MAKT. You can stop sharing the screen.
Thank you.
I think you are still sharing. Yeah. Anyone who has not done this activity, who is yet to do it? Saranya, you did it. Can you please share your screen and show me?
Yes, Brad. Yes.
I will not be moving forward before you guys do it. It doesn't make sense for me to keep on saying these theoretical things and you guys are not doing it.
I'm just logging in data services, but I've completed the activity.
Yep.
I'll share my screen.
If you don't mind, please share your screen and just run that code once. I want to see.
Okay.
Ila, Michael, Ram, how about you guys? Have you done this?
I have completed the activity, but I didn't execute because of the job server. So I'm just logging in and I'll execute it. Yeah.
Perfect. Please execute it. And please don't get into somebody else's repo. Whatever has been allocated to you, please use those repos only. And please, going forward, please get connected to all the systems. Join 15 minutes prior to joining this meeting and connect to all the systems so that we don't waste time. Michael, how about you?
Yeah, I wasn't able to do the assignment for yesterday. I was thinking I'll look at the previous class you had and see what I was supposed to do. Well, I haven't done that yet.
But if you don't do these assignments, you'll be lagging behind and it will be very difficult for you to cope up.
Yeah,
If you're having any trouble, please do it right now. I can wait for you. It will take you hardly 10 minutes.
Okay, I want to do it now then.
Yeah, please go ahead. We are still waiting for 3 more candidates,
Brad, I'm sharing my screen.
Yeah, Saranya, please go ahead.
Can you see my screen?
Perfect. Now run this. Run the job.
Yeah, that's where I'm getting. So I did all this, but what do you guys mean when you say run the job? So
Okay.
can you help me?
Yeah. Right click on the job.
Okay.
Right click. There is a thing called execute.
Mm-hmm.
Just execute it. Execute. Okay. The
Oh,
job server. Can you change the job server?
how do I do that?
I will tell you. Just click on execute again.
Hmm.
Now there is a job server or server group. You have only one.
Mm.
Let me see which one I'm using. Just give me a second.
Okay.
I'm using a job server _1 RDP2 3500. Are you using the same?
I'm using 3010.
Okay, wait then.
So
Let me check how to do it. I go to this, then I go to
I mean, how
options.
do we add job server in control CMC? Are we supposed to add the job server? Because
Just a moment, sir. This is like Manbitek who is doing these kinds of things, you know. I can see. Just give me a second. Yeah, it has to be done from the CMC. I'm just checking how. And why is it not, this is not working for you? If this is working for me. Now. I will wait for maybe 5 minutes more. If the guys are not joining, then I will start. Oh, sir, your voice is breaking. You're not.
Can I stop sharing that? Like, I believe someone else wants to ask something.
No issues. You can.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you, sir.
Actually, I created a job. After that, I am struggling to create how to extract the table.
Just a moment, sir. Just a moment. Saranya, which repo you're using?
So I'm using 8.
DS8, right?
Yes, yes.
And what's your repo? Who else is facing an issue for what do you call this? Job server?
01 minus 01.
_01, right? No,
Yes.
there is nothing like 01. There is DS1, right? You are facing issue for DS1.
yeah,
No, I'm not facing the issue. I'm stuck. After creating a job, how to extract the tables, I'm not.
Okay, sir. Please share your screen.
DS5 also facing the issue like job
Can you?
server.
Did you try to run your job and then it's saying like job server not working?
Yeah. I tried it yesterday itself. Like today also I checked and it is not working.
Okay, let me check. I already pinged them. DS8
Can
and
you able to
DS5.
see my screen, Brad?
Yes, I can. Now, what do you want to see, sir?
So I'm trying to extract. I'm trying to extract SKA1 and SKB1.
But we never discussed about SKA1 and SKB1. We discussed about Mara and MAKT. And
because of I'm a FSA consultant, I just want to try to extract this one.
it's okay, sir. Ela, if your buddy follow me, na, it will be very useful to you. Otherwise, it makes no sense for me to keep on repeating what I'm saying, you know. And you cannot direct job is the only thing in BODS that can be executed. But whatever data flows or whatever logics you have to build in, that will be inside the data flow. As the name suggests, what you are trying to do is like you are straight away trying to drag the table into the job. It will not work. You can only drag these tables, transforms, create tables inside a data flow. I will be walking you through these
after this
objects. Yeah, you have inside data flow. If you see my message yesterday, I mentioned inside the job, create a data flow, and then inside the data flow, create extract this data. Don't do like execute. Just on the extreme right hand side, third tab, it's called data flow. Just drag it from there and push it into the canvas. On the extreme right, on the panel. This is not extreme right, this is extreme top. I'm asking you to go to extreme right. Sir, this is not extreme right. What is it? Yeah, perfect. Yeah, please click on this and then just click once again on the canvas on the right side. Yeah, click on this and then click on the canvas. Perfect. Just click. Yeah, now name it something like df underscore mara underscore ext.
Okay.
Yeah, please do something like now drag and drop the tables. You have to extract two tables. One is mara, one is makt. Perfect. You can stop sharing your screen and then please drag the table into the data flow. Does this make sense? Okay, perfect. Please stop sharing. Perfect.
Just Vlad, you want to see that error, the same error which I'm facing.
Show me. Can you please show me?
Is my screen visible?
No. Yeah, perfect. Now please go there.
Yeah. So this is
Hmm.
data flow. Inside this, I just called in two tables, and when I execute this job, if I choose global variable, the job server you selected is not.
Okay. What is
I
your?
have only one option in execution options. I don't see anything.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. But what's your repo? 1, 2, 3, 4. What's that?
DS5.
Yeah, I already pinged him. Like DS5 and DS8. You guys are having the issue. For Naren, I don't know. Naren, how about you?
Even
Did you try doing this?
Raised a ticket on the same.
Sir, it's all right. I already pinged him directly. He will take care of this.
Yeah, I created a hybrid.
Yeah, Naren, please go ahead.
I created a project and job, but extracting this creating project and job in bots, right?
Yeah, creating the project, then a job, then a data flow.
Extracting in HANA DB, right? HANA Studio.
Sir, whatever we discussed yesterday, have you done that?
The first step I have done.
Sir, that first step takes 2 minutes. I gave you 12 hours or 24 hours to do it. If you are only creating a job or a project in 24 hours, that's not going to help me, you know. I asked you, sir, please.
So
please share your screen. Let's see.
Yeah, I can share. 1 second. I'm logging in.
Let me share my screen and let me go. So, yeah, Ila, please go ahead. Yeah, sir, I can hear you loud and clear.
Getting the error, you are not selected the.
Sorry?
I am getting the error when I am executing the job.
Okay.
I am getting this
screen,
error.
Sir. Show me, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah,
can you able to see my screen now?
Okay, now tell me your job. Tell me your repo. What are you using? DS1, DS2?
01.
DS1 is also having issue. Okay. No problem, Ila. Error. It's okay. I will get this resolved. DS8, DS5, and DS1. Anyone who can confirm? Prasad, can you confirm if your job server is working, Naren?
I'm sorry, but haven't reached. Let me share my screen. I guess.
Please go ahead.
Someone needs to stop work. Yeah. I'm missing out the basic steps.
No issue, sir. I'm here to help you.
So maybe you already shown this yesterday, but I'm missing out something.
No issue, sir. See, I will repeat for everyone. Inside data services, the only thing that can be executed is a job. Job is the only executable unit. And if you have to perform any logics like extraction, transformations, validations, loads, you have to do that inside the data flow. So how usually the structure looks like is, on top of everything is a project. Okay, then inside my, for example, I can have my 140 objects. I can have like material, customer, vendor. Then for each object I will have a project. Now project, you can say, is just like a room or just like a packet. Now inside this job project I can have different jobs. Okay, I can have an extraction job, transformation job, load job, and reconciliation job. I am just creating a structure as of now. I'm not doing any logics. First will be project, then will be jobs. I will not keep customer job inside my material project. No, I'm not going to do that. Whatever is relevant to that object, I will only keep those jobs inside that project. That is the second thing. Then I have a choice. Do I go ahead with a workflow, conditional workflow, or a data flow? I don't want you guys to go into conditional workflow and workflow as of now. I want to focus on data flow. Ultimately, the lowest hierarchy is data flow, because without data flow you cannot do anything. Any extraction, any transformation, any loads. Only three things an ETL can do, right? Extraction, transformation, load. These three things can only happen inside a data flow. So whenever you have to perform any operation, it will definitely go inside the data flow. Now, what have you done? PJMM. Okay, you created a project inside for named material for project for material master. Now you did something like job MMEXT. Okay, as of now, we are only extracting the tables from the source. Later on, we will create JBMM trans, that is transformation, JBMM load for loading data, JBMM reconciliation for reconcile data. So in each of my projects, I will have 4 jobs at minimum. One will be extraction, transformation, load, and reconciliation. Now, inside the job, you will have a data flow. And inside the data flow, you will extract the tables. So, sir, please go. Why are you creating again data flow inside a data flow?
No,
It's
that's
not,
I messed it up. I'm not
no,
sure
it's all right.
what I
It's
did.
all right. It's all right, sir. We are still learning. I want you to mess up 100 times. I'm here to tell you. But please try so that you learn. I'm in no hurry. So now go inside the new data flow. Go inside new data flow. Okay, delete everything. Just do Control A and delete. No, just do Control A. Delete. Perfect. Now come out of this. Just click on JBMMEXT. Go to the job level. Now rename this data flow. Always keep a habit. Always name your data flows like they make some sense. DF underscore Mara underscore EXT. So this means we are just extracting the data. Perfect. Okay, there is already a data flow. Name it like underscore -1. Sorry, underscore 1. DF underscore. You already have done it. So underscore. Okay, EXT. You have written MARAX. Mara underscore EXT underscore 1. Okay, perfect. Now go inside this data flow. Now go to your source. Where is your Mara? Just make the window big. Now just drag and drop inside this data flow. Perfect. No, not here, not here. On the right-hand side canvas, you can only drag and drop here. Perfect. Perfect. Leave it. Now from the extreme right side, 5th tile, it's a query transform. Just click on that and drop it to the right side. Yeah, drop it next to table. You got to click that. No, it's not going to drag and drop. It's going to, you have to click it once, then click next time on the, yeah, perfect. Just name it as query underscore something or leave it query. Now join Mara to this query. I hope I'm not wasting time of rest of the guys. You guys can also learn like how we are doing it. Yeah, no. Just there's a blue dot at the end of this. Yeah, perfect. Just click it. Yes. Now double click on Mara. Query Mara. Not here. Query. You can do it on the right hand side as well. Yeah. Now click on plus sign. This is collapsed, right? No, Mara is collapsed. On the left hand side is your source. Just click on plus. Perfect. Now click on Matner, second field. It's mandatory Matner. Now go to end. Go to the last field. Click shift and select everything. I want you to select everything. Drag it to the bottom. Drag it to the lowest field. No. I don't want you to drag it right now. No, sir. Just click on this. Then on the right hand side, there's a slider, right? No, don't do this. There's a slider. Not this one, on a vertical slider. Yes, please
Oh,
go
okay.
to the bottom. Now, please keep shift button pressed. Then click on the last field. Perfect. Now drag and drop them to the right side. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I don't want you to drop all the fields. You can do it later. Now click on the last 3 fields. Drag and drop everything. Not from here, sir. You have to go from the left. Perfect. You see some of the all the fields are blue triangle, and some are like the last 3 fields are not resembling the shapes that are like CO type, COBJD. It means they are not mapped. They are not mapped to anything. No need to do this. No need to do this, sir. Just click all 3. Right click. No. Cancel this. Click all 3. Select all 3. Right click. Map to output. Perfect. Now go to the top and remove the primary key for Matner. Right click. Remove. Michael, please see how we are doing it. Just click on primary key. There's a primary key tick mark. Just click on that again. Yes, perfect. Now come back. There's a back button also. You see here. There's a back button. There's a schema in Mara. Then there is a thing called validation. Then there's a back button as well. Just go to top. Right. No. Go to right. Not extreme right, sir. I'm asking you schema in Mara. Right. Schema in. Something has. Go to up. A bit up. There's a go to the tile. There's a green back arrow. You can click that. Perfect. Go back. Now on the extreme right side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, sixth option. It's a template table. Sixth option. Yes, perfect. Just click on that. This is called a template table or a temporary table in BODS. Click on this and then click on the perfect. Click on this. Now name it as LND underscore Mara underscore ext. Click OK. This means we are landing Mara table. We are just extracting. Now again join these 2 things. Output of query Mara to the input of table. Perfect. Now save this. Yes, save all. There's an option, save all. Did you save all?
Yeah, just Control S.
That will only save this particular. Yeah, perfect. There's an option as well. Below project, the first one is new, second one is open, third one is save all. Just save all. Perfect. Now try to execute this job. Let's see what happens. Right click on the job, execute. I'm not sure if this will work. This is not working. Okay. Now, which is your repo?
3.
3?
DS3.
DS3 also has job server issues. Okay, then please wait for some time till we get this resolved.
Thank you, Brad. Sorry, everyone.
It's all right. It's all right, sir. Everybody is learning like this. Michael, how about you? Have you done this?
I was just looking at what you were actually doing with him, man.
Can you please try to do it? If you have any issues,
Yeah.
please call it out.
That's
I try to help.
Alright.
For rest of the guys, I'm pretty much sure now you know how to extract a table, right?
Yes, Brad.
Saranya, yes. How about Ila? Ila, Naren, Prashad, if you can just give me a shout out like hands up or something, I can just understand like, okay, I can get it from then. Would you guys be able to now extract a table? Because that's the starting point.
Yeah, should be fine, I guess. I can try myself for the other table.
Yeah, do it for
but
MAKT.
yeah.
I will get the job server issue resolved. Don't worry about that. But as of now, I expect you guys to at least have this knowledge how to extract a table. Naren, Ram, Ila, can you please speak up?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I can
clear.
try it, Brad. I can
So
try
it should
and
be
let you
fine.
know.
Yeah, please try it. So let me share my screen then, and let's proceed for session 4. Okay. this as okay. So what I want to discuss today is about the different data migration approach. What I mean by data migration approach is, so activity 2, 3 only Saranya and Ram did it. Okay, perfect. So what I mean by data migration approach, when we say data migration approach, I mean how do we do the end-to-end implementation from the data migration point of view. Obviously, the first thing is we will be extracting the data, right? Now you can extract data from SAP, you can extract data from files, maybe Excel, maybe comma separated files, CSV files, anything can be there, right? Or even text files can be there, like tab separated. You can have this data from maybe Oracle, anything. You can connect your data services to n number of systems, and the first and foremost thing is extracting your data. So when I say data extraction, the first thing I call it is like landing of data. There's a confusion between what is landing and staging. Okay, landing versus staging. When I say landing of data, I will simply do one-to-one mapping. So whatever is coming from my legacy system, I will just dump it into my HANA Studio. Reason? Why would I waste my memory of HANA Studio when the data is already present in my SAP ECC system? Why can't I keep on hitting it and extract the data? The reason is your client will not let you do it. It makes the system slow. They will maybe they can ask you to extract the data whenever they need it. For example, I have a mock one scheduled up. Now you want to extract the data. They can ask you, okay, do it on the weekends or do it after the business hours. So what you will do, you will simply lift and shift the required data into your HANA DB. Nothing, no transformation, nothing is to be done. Simply you are lifting and shifting it. We just now saw how to extract Mara and MAKT. I'm selecting all the fields and I'm just dumping it to my HANA Studio. Simple. That is called landing of tables. When I say staging of data, I can use some different filters over there, or I can transform my data over there. Okay. Do you guys understand like what is landing and what is staging? In landing, I'm simply doing a lift and shift, lifting my data from the source and shifting it to my HANA Studio. I can hit my HANA Studio n number of times, but I cannot hit my source system n number of times. Your clients would not like that because it makes this system slow. That's the first thing. Second, we always want to keep a copy of the data. Okay. What is landing? Lift and shift. Why do we do it? If we continuously hit their database, their SAP system, it makes their system slow. Second, we want to keep a copy of the source data. What if I straight away use their data from the SAP system, do some transformations and load it to my target system? Now, if they somehow change their data in their SAP system and they come back later to me telling me, hey, why did you do this? I told you to load it only for US. Why are you loading the data for UK? The reason can be they had this country as US. Later on, when I migrated my data for mock 1 or mock 2 or cutover or anything, they later changed their SAP systems. We always have the proof. Hey, this is how your data looked on this particular date. We always maintain something called Z-load date for each and every table. If they later on come back to me and tell me, hey, why have you done this data? We did not expect this data. We always have a proof. Okay, the first thing is no direct hits every time. Second is we can have a proof of data third thing is, if I keep on extracting data from SAP systems and land it to my HANA Studio, it's going to take me time. Rather, what I would like to do is I have my data in HANA Studio, moving data from one table in HANA Studio to second table in HANA Studio is very fast, because it's the same system. The data is being picked up from the same system and dumped into the same system. Most of the time what data services does is like, if the what do you call that, volume of data is low, it keeps the data in cache. It's very fast to move data from one HANA Studio table to another HANA Studio table, rather than every time hitting the SAP systems. Okay, this is landing of table. I hope you guys understand, like, why do we land the tables, or why do we land this data into the HANA Studio? Then the second point comes is like, in the state, this is my landing environment. So if you saw, right now we were doing something like lnd underscore mara underscore ext. It means I'm just landing my data. Now what will I do to my landed data? I can transform this. What is transform? Transform is simply changes. Howsoever the business owners or the data owners want their data to be changed, we will do this in the transformation jobs. Once I transform my jobs, I will validate my data. Now, inside the validation, uh, there are two important questions over here. What is the difference between SAP ready data and business ready data? When you guys are validating your incoming data against the target data, so that you make your data load ready, this is SAP ready data. For example, SAP wants you guys to have the data. For example, for on certain columns, it wants a mandatory data should be mandatorily over there. For example, I'm trying to load materials. Okay, now my SAP system has been set in such a way that it expects the material number. If I don't give a material number, my data load is going to fail. So what will I do? I will have a mandatory check on material. Now, if I try to move material type, I need to have a validation on configuration, right? I will do a configuration check. Whenever you try to move some field that have a configuration check, you apply a configuration validation, or validation underscore config, we call it, so that you make your data SAP ready. Whatever validations are needed in order to make data load ready, so that the moment you hit this data to SAP S/4HANA system, it should get loaded. So this is SAP ready data. If you do not make your data SAP ready, you cannot load it. Now, what is business ready? Sometimes if I try to load, maybe I can say, like, I'm trying to load address data for a business partner. Now, if I try to move my phone number, it's not mandatory, right? Even if I don't pass it, SAP is not going to stop me. It can still load the business partner. But what if my business owner wants this phone number to be mandatory now? He will set up his systems in such a way that if you do not give the phone number, the data load is not going to happen. So this is business specific, right? When you are putting on some more validations that are relevant to a business, it means you are making the data business ready. So if our data is business ready, it has to be SAP ready first. You understand this? SAP ready data is something SAP expects data in a certain format, right? For example, what I mean by the format, mandatory fields should have value. Then config fields should be value for config fields. Value When I say T tables, I mean config tables or T tables or check tables. So this is SAP ready data. If you are not making your data SAP ready, you will not be able to load the data. Now there can be one more layer of validations on top of SAP ready data if you want to make your data business ready. 99% of the clients don't want the data to be business ready. You will always make sure that your data is SAP ready. But again, it depends on a client. For example, your clients wants you to always migrate some fields in Mara, which are not mandatory for, I'm going to say SAP usually. But they set up their systems in such a way they expect data to be there. For example, phone number, email, fax number. They want this data. So they will set up the system or they will change their configurations in such a way that they will ask you to always keep this data along with the other fields. Then you are making your data business ready as well. Can you load business ready? Can you load data which is not SAP ready? No, never. You cannot load that because SAP wants your data to be SAP ready. It wants your data to be relevant to SAP. It's not like you will not give some fields and then expect it will get loaded. No, it's not going to happen. So how do we make sure that the business is SAP ready? We make use of validations. Mostly I will use validation. This is just a naming, validation underscore mandatory. What does this mean? I will, if you look here, I will always have the same validation. You see, if you go here, this is my validation. This is the same validation I will be using, but I will name it as validation underscore mandatory, validation underscore config, validation underscore xref, validation underscore format. Mostly two are used. One is validation underscore mandatory and one validation underscore config. Why do I use two if the same if I can use the one validation and it can do the work, why am I then using the same validation multiple times and naming it? Why? Because I want to keep a separation of concern. I want to check all my mandatory fields in this validation. I want to check all my configuration fields in this validation. Xref fields in third validation. Format fields in another validation. Why? Because it becomes easy for me to manage my code. If I keep all the validations in one validation transform, trust me, it's very difficult to manage it because just looking at the error column, there's a column whenever you pass your data through the validation transform. If the data is failing, then it adds a column called DI error column. It will simply tell you, okay, this data is failing because of this validation. Then you can go there and check why my data is failing or do I need to make any changes. So just for the separation of concern and make your I'm going to say code more easy to read, we create the same validation, but we name it like validation config, validation mandatory, validation underscore xref, or these two. The last two we do not use mostly. First two, 99 100 times 100% of the times you will use this. So what will happen in this? I will check all my fields that are mandatory. Here, I will check all my fields where the configuration is needed. I will check all the fields here where they have given me the xref. I already discussed this with you. If they are giving me an xref, I will always have two fields over there. One is, say they gave me an xref on country. I will have country underscore legacy, country underscore target. Now, if country underscore legacy is having a value, I'm expecting country underscore target to have value. If country underscore target is not having a value, it means it's either out of scope or it's like they forgot to give me the xref for that. So I will fail those inside validation xref. Now, what is validation format? I want my phone numbers to be 10 digits. If someone is giving me 11 digits or 9 digits, I'm going to fail them. Now, these two are easy. But somebody can ask me, how do I know like for on which fields I have to use a mandatory validation and on which fields I have to use a config validation? So please remember, there is a T code which we called SE11. For example, I'm trying to move my data to Mara. I will go to SE11, I will hit Mara. The moment I do display, whichsoever fields have a tick mark over here, this means this is a key column. Then all such columns should have a mandatory validation. if I'm trying to move data for Marcy, see, for example, I'm trying to move for Marcy. Then my material and plant, these are primary keys, or these are key columns. You need to have these two in the mandatory validations. Please remember this. How do we check it? So for inside fields, you can see which fields have the mandatory validation, and inside input help check, whichsoever field has mentioned like check table, it means it has a configuration check. So if I want to move any plant to my S4 HANA system, it should be first configured in T001W. Okay. We don't do something like maintain all the like if I have to move a plant, if I have to extend my material to a plant, this plant has some specific definitions added to it, right? It has some see, for example, this plant 001, now they have named this plant as 00 plant. This is a test system, that's the reason you are seeing it like this, but this will have a definite name. For example, plant Brazil PepsiCo, then they have something like, you see, all these details are there in the Stras means city. Then PFAC, maybe these are related to those postal addresses and all. What means city, or city, country, street, everything they have mentioned it. So land one is country. So this is a plant situated in Germany, right? Region they have not mentioned. So they will configure these plants over here in T001W. If you do not configure any plant in T001W and you try to load a material or extend a material to that particular plant, it's not going to load. It will throw you an error. It will tell you this plant does not exist. So that's the reason what we do is like we will have a config validation check on all those fields. For example, I'm trying to move Marcy. I will go to my input health check, and whichsoever field has a check table mentioned over here, I will use a validation, configuration validation over there. For example, this field, BWTTY, then I know, okay, this has a configuration check on T149C. 90% of the time, your functional owner will give you all these details. Okay, this field has a validation check or configuration check on this table. But if he forgets, I would suggest you always go to these two fields. One is fields and one is input help check. And both these can be seen in SE11. Okay. Any questions till now? Anyone? We will do this practically. I'm just trying to just make you understand like why we are doing it. I want this to be crystal clear. When I start using these validations, transformations, I should be confident that you guys know why we are doing this. Are we clear till now? Yes, Sarnya, please go ahead.
So we get this file or like from the functional console, do we verify it and check if it is okay, or like do we just how is it, Brad, in like when you take on a project? So when we receive this validation files, let's say for mandatory checks,
you will not receive any validation file. You will receive a DDD, and inside DDD mostly it's mentioned. But as a data migration consultant, you should know these things. You should always go to that table in SE11 and try to check it out for yourself. If they don't give it, then you don't know how to do it, right? Sometimes they might skip. They don't give the check table. Then you fail to understanding why is the data failing, right? So in data migration, it said if you fail data, 99% of the data is failed in preload validations, it's okay. But that 1% remaining data should get loaded. If you are telling me, okay, 100% of the data is load ready, then you try to load and it's failing. 50% of the data is failing. It means we missed some things, right? So it's not advisable. Best thing is you fail the data. You apply all the validations you can use in the preload checks. Fail data, it's okay, but don't fail the data while loading. That's not what we expect.
Okay, so it's better to check the objects that we receive to check the fields in SE11.
Whenever you receive the DDD, they will mention the tables, they will mention the check tables. but you should also know, okay, they mention, I will show you how to do it. They will only mention the check table. For example, you try to move plant data. Now you know, okay, they already mentioned it in the what do you call that, DDD. Hey, plant has a check on T001. But how do you know whether this is one-to-one relation or one-to-many relation? In validations, you cannot simply check if that particular plant exists or not. It depends, or particular region exists or not. See, in plants, forget mandatory. Don't focus on mandatory in any of the validation, configuration checks. You can see here works is only a primary key or a key column in T001W. In this case, there is only one-to-one relationship. But I will show you beauty 000. Just give me a second. If you see beauty 000, if I'm trying to move business partners, okay? Or there are so many examples. I remember beauty 000 as of now. I will go to land one. Land one is country. Okay. If you see land one country name and do something like this, can you see T005 is the check table. Inside T005, we will have countries configured. Okay. You see land one, and this has been tick marked. It means land one is a primary key. If you ask me, hey, if I have to do a validation, I'm trying to move business partners, I will have one-to-one check on land one. It means I will only check if particular country exists or not. That's it. Now let me take you to the region. You see, where is this land one? There will be a field called regio. Just give me a second. Control F region. I don't see this. What happened to region? Okay, let me go to ADRC. Just give me a second. ADRC. ADRC is my address data for a business partner. Can you...
Yeah, it's here. Regio group.
Not regio group. I want to see region, not regio group. Okay. City. Control F region. Where is this region now? Control F T05S. Am I writing something wrong? Okay, you see, regio is a region. For example, I have to check, say I have to check Tamil Nadu. I cannot check Tamil Nadu in the whole world. When I am trying to move data for Tamil Nadu, I will check whether this Tamil Nadu exists in India, right? This is a relationship. I cannot simply check if, say, for example, Delhi exists in US. I cannot check New York exists in Canada. No, I have to check the combinations now. If I take you to T005S, can you see there are two tick marks over here now? It means if you are intending to check a region, then you have to check the combination. You have to check whether that particular country and that particular region exists in T005 or not. I cannot simply go and check Tamil Nadu exists in T005. It can exist, but what about the country? So this is like one-to-one relationship and one-to-many relationship. How can you check that? I have already shown you. If you go to T005, you can only see land one is a primary key. But the moment you move to T005S, there are two primary keys. It means you have to now check land and region. If there are three tick marks over here, it means there is 1 to 3 relationship. Earlier, we have seen there was one-to-one relationship. Now we have seen 1-to-2 relationship. How do we do in BODS? That's a separate question. I will show you. But I want you guys to understand, like, why do we need to know about SE11? Key fields and config fields. If there's a configuration check, how do we know whether this is one-to-one relationship or one-to-many relationship? If there is one-to-one relationship, we can simply use a validation exists in. That's it. If US exists in T005, I'm done and dusted. But if I now need to check New York, I cannot see New York in T005 as. No, I have to check the combination whether New York and US exists in T005. Why? Because if you see here, for region, the moment region is an ADRC, address data. The moment I go inside T005, I see there is 1 to 2 relationship. There will always be 1-to-1 relationship, 1-to-many relationship. Here for T005, that is region, we have 1-to-2 relationship. Like I need to check the combination. Am I clear?
Yes, Brad.
Okay, perfect. Anyone has any questions till now? What is 1-to-1 relationship? What is 1-to-many relationship? Why do we go to SE11? Why do we see this mandatory fields, and why do we go to input health check to look out for the configuration fields? Anyone has any questions till now? Should I take this as a no and move on? If anyone has questions, please speak up. Even if you ask me the same question 10 times, I don't mind. Trust me, I don't mind questions. But whatever we are discussing, I want you to just memorize this or understand this, whatever we are discussing. This is very important. The moment you try to migrate your data, you cannot do it without validations. And if you want to validate data, you cannot do it without SE11. Okay, now once I'm done with the validation, I can have two types of files now. One, which pass the validation. Second, which fail the validation. This pass, we call it as enriched data, load ready data, or we call it as preload success data. This data, whichever has failed the validations, we call it as invalid data, or we call it as preload error data. Now both these files I will send to my business owner or data owner. He will look at the enriched data. He will check for all the transformations. As already discussed, whenever you are having any transformations, any XREFs, please try to use two fields then. For example, I have an XREF or I have a transformation on country. I will always have two fields in my reports or in my tables. Country underscore legacy, country underscore target. That way it becomes very easy for the business owners or data owners to look out for the transformations. Like they don't need to go to their SAP systems and then check, okay, this is US, what was the data in legacy system. No, they have the data ready over there. They can just look out for the data right there in the file, and it can speed up the things. So if they feel like the enriched data is looking good to them, all the filters that they have given you, they look good, XREFs look good, transformations look good, they will ask you to load it. Okay. For the failed data or preload error data, they will check out why this data is failing. Mostly this data fails because of configuration issues. They can then configure these things in the S/4HANA system and ask you to rerun your programs. If they don't want to do that in that particular mock, or it's not like they want to just do it in the next mock, then they will ask you, okay, load the preload success data or enriched data. Now we are at the phase of loading data. Suppose we loaded data. I tried to load 100 records. 90 passed, 10 failed. For these 90 pass records, I will create a post-load file, or we call it as recon file. For the 10 failed records, again, I will create a post-load error file. What will be inside the recon file? You will match or compare all the fields that we loaded. For example, I tried to load Mara. I will compare material type from between legacy and target, material group between legacy and target, descriptions between legacy and target, languages between legacy and target. And if everything is matching, then we say like we have successfully loaded the data for 90 records. If anything is not matching, then they raise a ticket in Zaira, and we can just correct those defects for the mock 2, or we will look out, hey, why this data is not loading. Suppose I tried to load the material description which is 60 characters, but my SAP, for example, SAP only holds 50 characters. Now this will be a truncated data. In my legacy it will be 60 character data, in my target will be 50 character data, and then next to it I have a column, say for example description legacy, description target, description match. In my match column I can say this is a mismatch. Then they will look out, okay, this is because the data in the input system is having more characters than what SAP can accommodate. So let's clean the data. Then they can go for data cleansing. For mock 2 they will try to correct the data. Or for example, sometimes what happens is like I'm trying to load, for example, for a material, I'm trying to load unit of measure as piece, but system is internally changing it to kg. There might be some configuration checks. Or I'm trying to pass currency for a sales contract as euro, but system is internally changing it to USD. Then they will look into their systems and they can correct the configurations. Only two things can be there. If any data is not matching between legacy and target, any field is not matching, then there can be only two options left. They will definitely raise a Zaira ticket for that, or they can either clean their data in the legacy system, or they can change the configurations. And we can correct this data loads in the next mock. Now what will happen to the post load error? Post load error mainly happens because of the configuration issues. You missed to put on some configuration checks, or during the preload transformation job run, everything was good, but then somebody came and he changed some configuration. Now the data load failed. Okay. For example, I can tell you the case of a bomb. You tried to load a bomb. Later on, somebody came to the S4 HANA system and he changed the mark for deletion for a material. He made the material mark for deletion. Why will he change the mark for deletion field for a material? They found out, hey, we migrated this material, and this is wrong. We don't want this material. He will mark this as mark for deletion. Now, the moment you try to load a bomb, the bomb will fail. Now, what will you do? You will just create a post load error file, and you can tell them, hey, this is failing because this particular material or component has been marked for deletion. What they can do is like they can tell you, hey, okay, just keep this bomb as out of scope for the next run. They will just fine tune their extraction criteria, or they can tell you, okay, we will remove this deletion indicator for this particular bomb, sorry, header material or component. This will complete my end-to-end data migration. Now, when it comes to SAP BODS, I want to go through each and every task. How do we extract data? We have already seen. How do we extract from file? I will go through it, but as of now, let's consider SAP. I want to extract Mara and MKT. I want to start from the basics. I don't want to go to bombs, pricing, and make it difficult for you guys. No, I want to start from the basics, and slowly and steadily we will move up the ladder. As of now, the basic thing is migrating a couple of materials from SAP, doing some transformations, and then and then loading them into the target system. How do we do it? I will show you step by step. As of now, I want to focus on this thing, landing of tables. Okay. Once everyone is done with this activity, then we can move to the next steps. Is this clear? Whatever we discussed right now? Trust me, this is important. 60% of the interviews, this question is asked. Tell me the complete data migration approach. What is a preload file? What are the post load files? Why do we create them? These are important. I want to cover your interview questions as well during these sessions. So whenever I say like these are important interview questions, trust me, these are.
Hey, Prasad here.
Hey Prasad, please go ahead.
From by your experience in a S4 HANA project, how much is the time allocated for these activities from a day? I know like it spans over entire project, but like these are the prepare or explore phase. How much time you normally see like it takes to get to that stage of okay, now we are good to upload it?
Okay, it depends on the number of resources you have in your project. For example, you have a project where the client wants to go slow. He doesn't want to invest much in the initial phase. Suppose he gave you two resources. Now you will take maybe in your project they give you two resources, but for in my project they give me 20 resources. Now time frame is a subjective thing, right? Usually for 10 resources in the discovery phase, they will assign some 1 or 2 months. For each object, it's not like complete data migration takes like maybe 2 to 3 years, If you're assigned to a data migration project, seriously, you will not come out. If you're a good data migration consultant, you will not come out for the next 2, 3 years because it's a slow process. Like you will develop the code. A good data migration consultant, he will take 1 week to develop his code, test his code in the development environment, and do the documentation. Because as a data migration consultant, it's not only your job to do this coding and all. No, we will create the code, we will test the data loads into the development environment, and then we will create the documentation. What is documentation? We call that TUT documentation, something user testing, unit testing, technical unit test, and we also create a technical specification document. So these documents, including coding, loading, extra everything, testing everything, it will take you 1 week, okay, for testing the code. Now for each project, some clients have 2 mocks, some clients have 3 mocks. It depends. So for each object, maybe today you have mock 1, then the functional owners, the data owner, they takes long time to review these reports, then check the data in their S4 HANA systems. So usually 1 mock takes minimum of 3 to 6 months, depending upon the objects. If your project has 6 objects, it will take you maybe 1 month for a mock. But if your project has 140 objects, so it's going to take 6, 7 months per mock. Then for the next mock, again 6, 7 months. If there are some delays here and there, then again take some 2, 3 months here and there. If he tells you, okay, now I want to go for the quality test and then the production load, so it will say like 4 loads you have to do, easily 2 years. If you have maybe some 10 resources, now he tells you, I will give you 2 resources, you will, even for 6 objects, you will take 2 years. It depends client to client. Some people want to go quick. Okay, I give you the money, you take the resources, just get it done in 1 year. It also happens. I have seen clients, they don't care about money, they don't care about resources. I want this to be done in 1.5 year. It also happens. Some clients are pretty much specific about their data. They have huge data sources. So if you see most of these oil companies, they have somehow 20 data sources. Now you imagine migrating data from 20 different sources to S4 HANA system. It takes time. It's a time consuming thing. That's the reason most of the people, uh, what they do is like they will first take a lot of time in the discovery phase itself. They want to just understand like if they should go ahead with this or not, because there are many projects that have been rolled back, and the most important reason is the lack of data migration consultants, lack of good functional consultants, lack of good technical consultants, and lack of good leadership.
Brad,
So
that's
trust
what,
me, if you
yeah,
Hmm.
that's what I was. So I guess the timelines you're showing, when you look at any S4 project, I guess it won't span for that long. So how do we align this with the agile methodology, right? Like, how do we, if let's say there is a 1 year of S4 HANA implementation,
no, nobody can do it in 1 year. No, it's not possible. If somebody is trying to move data from SAP ECC to S4 HANA system in 1 year, it's not even possible. It takes 1 year to even go to the discovery phase, to set up their systems, to have these calls. It doesn't work like that, sir. In the agile methodology, what we do is like, okay, you have 144 objects. For sprint 1, let's take 7. For sprint 2, let's take 12. For sprint 3, let's take 7 more, 8 more. It's not like somebody will give me 144 objects, hey, please go on and develop the code. We don't have those many good resources available in the market. So it's a slow approach. If you see in each project, there'll be 2 or 3 good migration consultants, and the rest of the lot They get help from these good migration consultants and they run the projects. Trust me, there's a shortage of good resources in the market.
Maybe Brad, I'm missing here something because I've seen projects where I myself was a part of
Hmm?
S4 implementation, and it would lasted for 1 year.
How many
Although it
objects you
was,
had?
yeah, that's what I'm coming at. Although what we used to migrate it, and uh, again, that S4 was morely targeted on specific because they wanted to start with that specific region, so they only had two planned, right? So the data was
Oh,
not
that
that data was not that
okay.
huge, and the only object they used, they didn't opt for the data services, then straight out use the LTMC and LT uh, MOSE, right, to transfer or upload the data in S4. So
Hmm?
that entire project lasted for 1 year. So
So
that's what I'm
that
getting at.
see, no. If there is a single object and there are two plants, you can even do that in 6 months. That's not a question. The question here, I'm talking about big clients. I'm not giving you the picture for a client who has only. There are various media and entertainment companies who have just some customers. They don't have any vendors. Simply, they don't have a material. Simple, some customers, some vendors, and they want to move the data. Customer is gone, vendor is gone, sales order is gone. That's some 7 8 objects they have, and they are done and dusted. But think about oil and gas companies. You think about Apple. You see how much data they have.
Yeah.
It is sometimes a headache for SCP even to handle that much of data. I have seen a company, I won't name them. They have so much of data, it became a big headache for SAP later on to handle that data. And then they had to take a call. Okay, we won't do this like the migration like this. Okay, we will take one region at a time. They were planning to do it all in one go, but SAP even could not handle this data with some big players in the market. So it depends. If you have a client who's having 6 7 objects, I have seen projects which are having 170 140 150 objects. We cannot do it in 1 month.
But Brad, I'm sorry, I'm stretching this bit, but just really want to understand this. Like, if there are like 150 objects, right? And as you're
Hmm?
saying, there are very complex data. And if there are like 150 objects, the S4HANA project can't go for that long. So, what exactly we recommend in that case? Like, take 20% of required data,
Hmm?
or go by region, or go by
Yeah,
phased
people
wise
go.
approach.
People, yeah, definitely. People see big clients. They don't go all like guns blazing. No, they
Hmm.
go country by country. They have various pilots. I have seen projects who have like maybe 16 17 pilots. So what they do is like for one pilot they target a particular country, but they have different teams. One is doing the migration for a particular pilot or a particular
Hmm.
country, and the second team is going through the discovery phase for another pilot.
Right, right, understood. Hmm.
Yeah, but trust me, for small companies, it's okay. If they are going to SAP for the first time, it's okay. For suppose there's a company, uh, I mean to say, which came into existence 2 or 3 years back, it's okay for them. It will take them more than 6 months, is okay. But suppose there's a company, some oil and gas majors who have been existing since maybe 80 90 years. You have a look at the data. If you just I once tried to extract data for BKPF and BSEC, it used to take us 4 days or 5 days. That was the quality of volume of data they were having. When they
And
used to ask us, hey, you need to extract these two tables, we used to catch our heads because it used to take us 5 days.
yeah, no, but just maybe last question, but is there any kind of, if I'm a company, right? I'm not that big. Uh, I
Hmm?
I do use SAP already, right?
Hmm?
How do I decide whether do I even need to go for a data services? Can I just simply extract data and put it into LTMC and use that tool? How do I, is there any thumb rule like, okay, I need some data services to clean the data or not? Or if I'm a small
Sir,
company,
if I was in your shoes and somebody can tell me, should I go ahead with some ETL tool or directly get the data into LTMC and migrate it? The first thing I would ask him is, what is the volume of data you are having? That is the first question. The second question is, are you expecting any data cleansing needs? Do you feel like your data should be cleansed first, or you just want to do a lift and shift? If the volume is less, if there is only lift and shift, I can simply get my data into LTMC and I can do it. But you think about having data in the volume of maybe 1.5 lakh, 1.6 lakh, maybe 1 million, 2 million records. How will we do it in LTMC? It's very difficult to manage those LTMC sheets, you know. You can even go with that table approach. I understand, but this is only for small volumes. And then when you have one source system, lift and shift. But you think about some organization that have 27 data stores. I have seen it personally. There is an oil and gas company who have 27 data stores. And SAP usually tells everybody to migrate your data till 2027. They have been given extra 3 years because of the volume of data they have. They compromised with SAP. Okay, they had a maybe something with SAP, and they told them, okay, we will pay you more for the extended support, but we have so many data stores or data like SAP ECC legacy systems, we cannot move that till 2027. I have seen such projects as well. They're going on because it's a long process. If we are in a hurry, we don't do the mocks and the quality tests perfectly, there is a chance we might mess up all the things.
Like, is there any tool or a way to know? Because data is more or less, or it's clean or not. It's a very subjective thing, right? Maybe client don't even have the visibility. Maybe all their long-term resources are gone.
No, sir. Whenever you have calls with your data owners, you will realize they know data like the palm of their hands. They know each and everything. I sometimes have a call with the data owners. The moment they see a number, a simple material number or a simple customer number, they are straight away, okay, this number belongs to this country. They know data like anything because they have been working on in these companies. Like, I have seen some data owners who have been with the same company for 20 years. They know data like anything. They know it.
Right.
They just
I
So
agree
it's
with
not
you.
it's not like they don't know what approach to use.
No, I agree with you. Like, while I was working on one of the manufacturing company, just like you said, just by looking at the number, that person can tell you the bomb and whatnot, right? So
True.
they know that in very minute details. But if you think about, I work with the small clients as well, not that big. There they don't have any data kind of rule there, like data
Yeah,
owner.
simple. Then get the data into LTMC templates and migrate it. We can do that in 6 months. Okay, done and dusted. It depends on client to client how serious a client is on for his data. You cannot ask a client to move through LTMC when he has data in the volume of 2 million, 3 million, 4 million. It doesn't make sense. He wants to analyze his data. It's his, I'm going to say his choice. He's willing to spend, but he wants the data to be migrated perfectly. He doesn't want any issues later on.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Sorry, I stretched
No,
it a
it's
bit
all
more.
right. Mostly the clients from India, what they do, they don't. I'm being blunt here. Mostly I have seen like most of the Indian clients, what they prefer is like, hey, we want to go ahead with LTMC. We want this project to be done in this time. That's it. But when it comes to the global majors, they don't care about money. All they care about is the perfectly migrated data in their S/4HANA system, because they are very specific about it. I have seen some, maybe mostly the Asian region clients. What they do is like, they feel like, hey, this licensing is costing us so this much. We don't want to go ahead with this. Okay, let's go ahead with LTMC. Nowadays, to get SAP, whosoever has BODS license has it. If somebody is an ECC, he has the license to use BODS. Now clients cannot even get BODS without getting MDG. So, and even to get one, what do we call this? BODS license costs crores, And most of the clients, most of the Asian clients, what they do is like, they don't want to use it now. They say simply, okay, we want to use LTMC. Please get the data migrated. Again, it depends on client to client. It's a subjective thing.
Two quick questions, Brad.
Yeah, please go ahead, sir.
What are those industry where you've seen those industry are very keen with their data? Is there any pattern that you see?
No, sir. It's not like some industries keen about their data, some
Like a
industries not
pharma,
keen.
for example.
I
Like pharma.
I have been working mostly with oil and gas. I work with mostly I work with them, and I saw like I realized like they are very much keen about their data. Oil and gas, I work with media. I have worked with them, but I can see like it again depends. See, it again depends on the leadership. If you're I mean to say the project owner who owns the project, he doesn't care about anything. All he cares about is like the consistency. Then he doesn't even mind like having 30 resources or 20 resources. These days these projects are stuck because of this the global conditions, otherwise clients even don't worry about having 10 or 20 resources in a project and getting it done quickly.
And have you seen approach where, because of if they have a huge or multiple data sources span across globally, right? They have their own challenges of getting all that data and blah blah blah. But uh, have you seen approach where, okay, let's take only last 2 years of data, pass it
I,
on to
I have
S4?
given I have given you the example. You want to pass only last year data. What if you sold the material to a customer 6 years back and you
Yeah,
gave him
I'm coming
30
to
years
that.
warranty? What
Yeah,
will
yeah, I'm
happen?
coming to that. I'm not saying that scrap the old data. What
Hmm.
I'm saying is, instead of spending time on cleansing all that data, let's take only 2 years of data, push it to S4, and rest of the data you can just simply pass it on to a BW or reporting system.
How does
Instead
it
of
make no, how does it make sense to me now? Because I want a single source of truth. I had data in 6 source system. Now you want me to keep some data here and some data there. No, it doesn't
but
work.
BW with the S4 BW can be on the
But
same instance,
again, you
right?
have to move the data to S4. Why would I have my BW on ECC and S4 when ECC is going by 2027? So you have to migrate data, right? To even to use BW or any tool on the data, you have to migrate it to S4. Ultimately, my volume of data doesn't ultimately matter. What matters is like how many mocks my client wants to have. If I have 1 million records and I have 10 million records, how does it matter to me? I post them by my IDOC, process them, it's done. For us, what matters is like the number of objects. If there's an oil and gas major company, they have so many objects, 100 plus objects. If there's a small company, they can have some 7, 8, 10, 20 objects, they can do it fast. But how does it matter to me how much volume is of the data is the volume of data? It doesn't matter to me.
No, but
As a
ultimately that you're carrying that data, ultimately that will increase the database size and everything, right?
how does how does it affect me as a data migration
No,
consultant?
no, yeah, totally. Yes. Not
if
the
if this is
total.
if this is in nowadays everything is on cloud, right? If this is impacting the memory, instead if they are paying me 50 million euros or 50 million dollars to migrate data, they can pay 2-3 million euros to get a big database. It doesn't matter nowadays. This space is not a constant anymore with these all, I mean to say, what do you call this, the cloud, with the cloud. Just a couple of days back, I was running my task for this activity and the jobs were failing. What we did is like we increased the size from this is just a training 25 GB to 50 GB in a second. Just a matter of some euros or dollars. How does it matter to the client? Like they have 400 GB or 500 GB of memory, they can spend. It's okay, and it's their call. As a data migration consultant, I don't care. What I care for is like I should be able to migrate the data, the systems, everything. This is the call of the basis guys. Hey, you have this much of data, I want you to have this much of memory. Okay, allocate this much of memory to my system. This okay.
Do you see oil and gas clients asking for transferring all the data, or do you have some
when it
timeline
when
gap?
it comes to master data, they have some, mostly they don't transfer mark for deletion. They will not do that. One time customers, one time vendors, they will not migrate those. And then when it comes to the financial data, mostly I have seen like 6 to 10 years
Hmm.
from now. That's it. What they will migrate. Rest of the data, if they feel some orders are open, they will be precise on that. Okay, I want 6 year data, and some of the orders are open. Okay, for 11th year as well. Okay, please move that as well. But they are very specific on the financial objects. I want data for last 6 years. Again, this depends. I have seen like a same client for two different regions. One is moving for 3 years, one is moving for 6 years. It depends. It's a subjective call.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, hi, Brad. Just one query I have. Do we have any central kind of place where we have where we can pick up the ATL codes? Like, for example,
No.
not all the.
I won't suggest you using the ATLs because, for example, I have 50 members in my team who are using ATL. This ATL can be lost someday, and I'm gone. That's the reason in BODS we have a system called central repositories. I will show you how to use this. What is a central repo?
Not
It
this
is
central repo, Brad.
okay.
What I mean to say is like we have different objects, right? Material master, vendor master,
Huh?
and everything. So the loading process and all. For example, if the volume is less, we definitely go with the LTMC or maybe any kind of a tool. But if the volume is very huge, like we have a huge set of data, in such cases we prefer IDOCs, right? So in such
True.
cases, is there any central place where how to proceed with the load part? I think there might be some hub or something
So
where
you
we can.
is the question like if I have
Huge set
records in
of
a volume of
data.
say
Yeah,
1
yeah. If
million,
we
how do I
have.
load it?
Yeah, so we have any place where we can import the right, I mean, standard job based on which we can make the changes, so we can pass the same thing and we can change the partner profiles for IDOC configuration and
Hey, no,
pass
no.
the.
Why would you do it? Why would you do it, buddy? When see in case of iDocs, you can set this properties like process or it should be processed by BD87, right? Now
Yeah.
I will always set it like hey, I want to process by BD87. Why? Because from data services, I don't want any connection timeout error. I just want to post the iDocs. Then from SAP, I can go to BD87 and do the parallel processing. That's it. I don't need anything like hey, I want to change the partner profile, I want to do this and that. I will just post my iDocs from here, then from there I can speed it up.
Okay.
I recently posted close to 8 lakh iDocs and we could process it using BD87 parallel processing.
Yeah.
That's not an issue. The issue only comes if you are not left with an option, but you have to use a BAPI. BAPIs cannot do parallel processing, right? It explicitly goes, loads one record, comes back, loads one record, comes back. Now, how do we parallel process a BAPI explicitly? I will show you that as well. I have seen in case of business partners, the moment you have maybe how many, like 100,000 business partners, your BAPIs are going to cry, you know. Then we have to
Yeah.
treat them and you have to make a code in such a way, robust code, so that you can parallel process a BAPI now. How do we do that? I will show you. Don't worry on that.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
That is the last part I want to touch. But I want you guys to understand BODS like this should be a paint for you. Hey, this is the extract. Okay, we do this. These are the transformations we do like this. But for that, please keep on practicing. This is all the practicing game. More I play with this, more I keep on looking. Okay, what does this do? Okay, I have these many options. Break this system down. I don't care. But go on and keep on checking. Okay, what is this? This is validate all. What does this do? What does this do? So just the practice game. If I have been working on maybe 12, 13 years and I have loaded I don't remember, I lost the count how many objects I have loaded. Now going forward for 1, 2 years, you will feel like, okay, this is difficult, that is difficult. But trust me, you load a one object into S4 HANA using IDOC, you load one object into S4 HANA using a BAPI, you are good to go. You can load 500, even if I give you 50 objects, then hey, please load it. Same iDoc, same BAPI. I call it that way. It's so easy. If you know how to use an iDoc, if you know how to use a BAPI, there are some complex concepts like how do I parallel process my iDoc now? I cannot parallel process a BAPI. How do I do that? That's where an expert comes into picture, you know. But this is easy, buddy. This is I some once my manager told me, can you tell me how he was not into data services. He told me how do you guys use it? I told him this is just like Paint, MS Paint, simple drag and drop. On the back end, how this is writing the SQL code, I don't worry about that. But if you tell me this SAP BODS, this is whenever there's a tool, it's the easiest of tasks. If you go to Angular or something like Java or something like .NET, it keeps on changing. You have to remember so much of code. Here, this is nothing. A palette over here, a palette over here, drag and drop, that's it. You can master this, trust me. I worked on some other technologies and and based on my experience, I feel like this is the easiest of all. So don't worry about all these things. I will train you like anything, but for that I need your support. I am telling you to do these activities. You have to do that and keep on playing with this on Saturdays and Sundays. Just be focused for 1.5 months. I assure you, you will work on data services like a champ, because I don't want to go through those decks and explain to you what is a transform. When I personally interview some candidates and I ask them, okay, they know all these basics. Okay, what is a validation? What does this do? Okay, but then when I ask them about the real life scenario, they don't know it, and themselves tell me later on, yes, we mugged this up. We went through some trainings and mugged these things concepts up, and we came for the interviews. Because even in 10-15 minutes you get to know if somebody has worked on in real life or he's just mugging the things up. So don't worry, we will go slow, but we will train. We will just do these lab sessions. We won't I don't want you to guys to just memorize these things. What is a transform and what is a merge? How will this help? I don't understand how it works. That's important. Anyone has any questions before we take a maybe 15-minute break?
Ila here.
Yeah, Ila, please go ahead.
I just want to understand, you said that enriched data, right? That means it's a successful data or any other term is there?
No, this is load ready data that has passed all the validations. Whatever validations I kept over here, it was successful. And now this is ready to be loaded. Once I get the green signal from my business owner, I will just hit my iDocs, BAPIs, and I will load it.
One more question. In LTMC, is there any maximum limit of data to upload? Is there any limitation?
No, I don't think so. There should be any limit. For example, see, why I don't prefer, even if you give me 10 records, I don't prefer LTMC. Why? Because it's very difficult to manage those files, map those things again and again. If you give me even 2 records, I personally go and configure my iDocs and BAPIs. I don't work on LTMC. I don't prefer using that, because it's very difficult to manage that. In LTMC, you can have 2 options, right? One is using the files, one is using those tables. Tables, still fine, right? Still fine. But going by the files, I would recommend please stick to BAPIs and iDocs. BAPIs and iDocs is very easy. You create a job once, continuously hit these execute buttons, and you are done and dusted. For LTMCs, you have to prepare the file for each and every mock. It's very difficult, trust me. I tried using LTMC, but I didn't like it. We will touch base on that as well, but don't worry. That's like SAP created LTMC so that even a layman can load data. They want to remove the dependency on these complex things like iDocs and BAPIs. But if you know LTMC and you go for some interviews, I don't think that's only knowing LTMC is going to help. If you have some years of experience, data services, these iDocs, BAPIs, load methods, and then information steward. This is like what they expect. Any questions?
Brad,
Yeah.
I have
Yes,
I have a very basic question, but I really wanna know,
please
Brad,
ask.
like,
Please ask. No
so
question
this
is basic.
because S/4HANA, this transformation is happening till 2027. So whatever projects might come across, companies might already have ECC. It's a brownfield implementation. So whatever data migration concepts we are learning, so even after 2027, migration consultants can work on greenfield implementations, right? So whatever we see right now.
Do you think SAP will sleep after S4? They have to be in
No,
business, right? They had
they will bring
ECC.
something
Why they
else. Yeah.
created S4 now? You remember, like,
Yeah.
is the same? It will be definitely some new features, but the same movie with the new actors, right?
Yeah.
SAP will create something after S4, and again you have to migrate data, because they will not sit down. They don't want their product to die.
Because we see the pain companies are going through for this migration, right? So years
Because
and
they
years
don't
of
have resources. I can tell you from my own experience, these consulting companies, they try to pay peanuts to data migration consultants. Whosoever is a good migration consultant, he will not work on peanuts because this is such a tedious task. If somebody will tell me to work on peanuts and do this much of efforts, why will I go to them? So that's the reason they are suffering, because they are not paying the consultants. And if you give me $1, somebody else $2, I will go there, right? I will work for them.
yeah.
They're expecting you to work for 50 hours a week and pay you peanuts. How does it make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
That's the reason they are suffering. So always try to surround yourself with some great companies and good data migration consultants so that you learn. I luckily had some great migration consultants around me, and they taught me a lot. Even my juniors, I get to learn from them because they are really good.
Good mentors, yeah. So, Brad, even after 2027, so coming back to my question, so migration consultants will be needed to do greenfield implementations, right? So companies who have anything apart from SAP, so if they want to do
Definitely.
if they want to upgrade to S/4HANA, so we might have to go through the same things that we are going through in the course, right?
Definitely. SAP is not going to stop there. SAP is evolving like anything, right? So you feel SAP will stop after S4? No. And trust me, there are still 60% plus existing SAP ECC clients who are yet to migrate to S4. What will they do? They
Do you
need
think
migration consultants.
SAP is going to like move the date again? Because I believe initially it was 2024 and they kept moving the years.
Because people are not migrating. People are not migrating their data, because most of the clients, they are fearing, what if we fail? The reason being, good migration consultants, good technical consultant, functional consultant not available in the market. Whosoever has that, they are getting projects like crazy. They have work like crazy. You go to any good company, I will not name them, but I can tell you there was a company who went with some A company, right? Even after 1.5 years, they were skeptical whether we should move or we should not move. Then they moved to some other consulting company, and within 1.5 years, their data was loaded, done and dusted. But yes, they charge premium. They will not work on peanuts.
Okay.
So, hey,
Thanks,
Brad, just one query, Brad. Like,
Please.
we have the smart data integration as well, which also replicates, enhances, and uses the data. It is on top of HANA database actually. So,
I'm not sure about this, sir. I don't want to throw arrows in the air. I don't know about this.
okay.
Okay, if you can brief me about this, I will try to get some research done on this. I will try to read about this.
I mean, both of them are kind of ETL tool, like BODS, which we are using. It's an ETL tool, and also we have the smart data integration, which is kind of ETL tool as well, which does the ETL part. So it is on top of HANA and also on top of BTP, like where we can directly.
I get to hear a lot about BTP. There is,
Yeah.
but I have a question on this. I don't know. I'm not sure. So BTP is something like where you can do a lift and shift between from one source to the target. Is it like that?
No. BTP is kind of a platform,
Platform.
where we have the sync of everything. Now it is recently upgrading in the market, like SDA. I think it will come with the license of HANA DB. Like along with HANA DB, we get
I
that.
will
So,
I will read about this. I will read about this BTP. I'm not sure. I don't want to say something I don't
SDA
know.
actually, mainly on SDA. BTP is something where we can transform these views, and also whatever the views we create in this HANA DB, we can call upon these views in this SDA, smart data integration. We can perform the similar tasks that we are doing in bots actually.
Okay, makes sense. I will go through this, buddy. I heard about this from a good number of people. So I will go through this once. If I get info, maybe I can help. But as of now, I don't know about this.
Okay. And also, like one more query I have is the traditional approach, like we load the data, which is fine. But for change mechanism, we mostly used LSMW. But even LSMW is going to be it will be redundant from 2020. I mean, it's already redundant because SAP is not supporting anything. So now,
I don't think this is redundant. LSMW, you will need it, come what may. Your clients don't want you to use that because you can manipulate their data, but
exactly.
sometimes there is a need, you have to use it. For example, I'm trying to move my bombs to S/4HANA system. Now, if you want to extend the bomb to some other plant, you cannot do it using BAPI, IDOC, or anything.
I agree. Like, if the system is from ECC, that's fine. If we are using Fiori tiles, we can't record via the LSMW, right? The tiles can't be recorded.
No, why
With the
would I do LSM recording from the tiles? I will, if I have some T codes available that are
I
migrating the
mean, there
data,
are few
changing the data.
modules which is not supporting with this. Like, if you go to
Okay.
PLM modules, PLM module has this recipe management, and it
Okay.
also has the specifications and recipe management. So in such cases, we don't have the access to the ECC normal T codes that we do. So we have to go via the Fiori tiles only. So
Okay.
in scenarios as such, is there any option that SAP has provided? I mean, in creation mode, that's fine. We either use BAPI or IDOC and load the data. In cases where we need to change or manipulate the created data, in such scenarios where LSMW is not feasible, is there any option?
See,
Like, I heard a lot about this RPA, SAP RPA, which is in place. Not sure whether that is the right option that helps us in updating the created data.
see, buddy, if you tell me like I loaded some data, now I want to change this, I will just check if there is any BAPI available. If it's not there, I will go back to my ABAPer and I will ask him to write
Okay, but
some BAP code.
usually in data migration, change scenarios will not be accepted by the
True.
data bots consultant, right? It will be given either to ABAP team or some other team to do the change data.
No,
Okay.
they don't expect you to change the data once you loaded it, because they have given you the green signal to load the preload files. They don't want you to go into their SAP S/4HANA system and manipulate the data now.
Agreed. Like, in cases like what we do for the normal ECC system, there might be 1 or 2 fields which might be having issue, and they might ask for change. We do that with recording if it is feasible. If not, we do the backend approach of using the LSMW and do that. But in these cases, like where we exactly have the Fiori tail, because going ahead, Fiori is going to be the thing, and they are going to use Fiori tails more
True, but
frequently.
see, buddy, but it's not possible to migrate everything using Fiori, like LTMC, right?
Yeah.
Come what may, whatever SAP does, it's not possible. Ultimately, it's not possible to kill data services. Trust me. I use personally, what do we call that? I use SnapLogic. You know,
Okay.
the moment we went for the loads, it's so slow, you cannot even imagine. Even Synity, they are writing maybe some stored procedures inside, and they are trying to load data using the same IDOCs, BAPIs, right? I may be wrong, but this is what I understand. But if you try to kill BODS, it's not going to happen anytime soon.
Okay. Okay.
Data services will live at least maybe for the next 7-8 years, at least. I'm saying at least, because people have to migrate data. This is so powerful.
Yeah, I was scared. I mean, initially, when they expired this particular certification license, it was like, okay, is it currently out of the market or something? Why they have removed
So
the
as of
certificate?
now, it's like if you want to go for data services, you need to get the MDG licenses. Then they will give you data services licenses free on top of MDG. They want to just make sure the clients go with MDG, you know. But if there are some clients who are already on ECC, 90,000 plus clients, they already have the license to use BODS. If there's a new client, they don't want to invest into it. They go with LTMC.
Okay. When I mean certification, it's the normal certification we have, C_DS42, which is related to data services. It was currently expired. So I was like, is it going to be out, or is it something? What exactly SAP is planning for that?
I don't know, buddy. I don't know about it.
Yeah.
Like what they are planning, what's in their minds. You know, I will again repeat my statement. If anybody is thinking like data services will get killed, no, it will not, because it's not possible.
So, Brad, when we have LTMC, Why do we need bots? This is the basic question.
Sir, if you have LTMC and the moment you want to perform data cleansing, you want to have some complex logics developed, you cannot use LTMC. LTMC is simply lift and shift. I give you some data, okay, give it in your XML files and then load it. What about some complex transformations that are happening? How will you do it in, what do you call that? Excels. What if your data is in the volume of maybe 4 million? Your
Okay,
Excels
so
cannot
LTMC cannot
handle
handle
more than
large data.
Yeah, and yeah, I will again repeat my statement. If you give me a choice to choose between LTMC and IDOCS or BAPIs, I will any day go with IDOCS and BAPIs because it's very easy to manage data. LTMC templates managing that is difficult, and it's only like maybe SAP is trying to do it so that anybody can move their data. But the moment we have complex transformations, I think we are stuck there.
We still need bots then.
Yeah.
And
I know.
basically the legacy
I personally know a company who tried to move away from data services and moved to some other tool. Now they are back to data services because the tool they went for, it's slow. The moment we have data in the volumes of 50,000 plus, it's getting stuck.
Okay. So bots can connect to other third-party legacy systems or any APIs connectors,
You can
right?
connect it to anything.
But not LTMC cannot do, I think, not having capability.
LTMC, you can connect to those files. You can transfer data using those files or using those staging tables. You dump the data into those staging tables, and then from there, LTMC will pick up the data from there and load it. It's relatively easy. If you see the database type, see from how many ways you can get this data. I can get the data from this one JD, people's Oracle applications, anything.
So yes, LTMC doesn't have these many options, right?
You see, even for LTMC, LTMC will work on your S4 HANA Studio. On the back end, it will use HANA Studio or it will use a file. You have to manage your files, a tedious task. It's better to go with the staging tables. The staging table will be somewhere in your HANA Studio. You will just run these jobs in your bots and dump that data, the load ready data into those staging tables. And then from there, you can load your data using LTMC.
Okay.
You see how many types of databases this can handle, even just a single database. Any questions? Any more questions?
I think nowadays, instead of ETL, ELT, it's getting popular. Extraction, load, and then transform later.
How can you transform, sir, after loading your data?
Yeah, ELT, right? These are bots, Informatica, or traditional ETL.
This is
tool.
ETL. Yeah, this is ETL.
Yeah, but
you will
there is something called ELT.
Okay. Okay.
For some third-party providers,
it is SLT.
they are offering.
It is SLT.
ELT.
SLT and bots, we have
Oh,
comparison.
SLT is SAP's, SAP HANA SLT. That is different.
You do the same things in your repo. For whomsoever there's an issue with the data, this job server, we will figure that out. But at least make this structure. Okay. Let's do something like a new project. Okay, I want to do this like pj underscore maybe okay. So whosoever has done, it's okay. But whosoever has not done till now, please follow these steps. And we want to extract the base tables or land the base tables and do some transformations over there. So this would be my project for material master. I want to create 4 jobs inside this. One would be JB. underscore underscore ext. This will be for my extraction. Then I want to create one more job. This would be for my transformation. I want to create one more job. I want to name this as load. And then I want to create one more job. I want to call this as reconciliation. That's it, recon. Everybody done till this? Everybody done till now? You guys created a project and then 4 different jobs?
Yes, sir.
How about others?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Then, as of now, I want to go with the workflow. I will tell you why. WF underscore extract. Underscore ext. So sometimes there can be something like, I already told you, I can run my data flows in series or in parallels. What if I want to run, see, if you want to run data flows in series, you have to connect all the data flows. If you want to keep them in parallel, then you will not connect those data flows. What if there's a mix now? I want to run some in series, some in parallel. In those cases, I will create a workflow. All those data flows I want to run in series, I can keep in one workflow. All those data flows I want to run in parallels, I want to keep them in another data flow. Suppose I want to extract data for both my materials and vendors. Now, materials and vendors, they are not dependent on one another. Everything can go in the same job, right? If my vendor tables are getting extracted, they don't have a dependency on my material tables. I can extract them. But now, if I'm trying to extract data for materials, whatever materials I extract from Mara, I will only extract the description from MAKT for those materials. If I have 100,000 materials in my source system Mara table, I will not, and I want to only extract or load my FERT material types, finished goods. Since I don't have a material type inside MAKT, right? I cannot figure that out over there. So what I will do, I will first extract all my materials which have a material type as FERT, that is finished good. Then I will connect MAKT table in series and I will use a join so that I can only extract the description for material type FERT. I don't want all my I don't want the description for all the material. That's like wasting my time and wasting the memory. So let's say like we are having, I don't want to only extract the data for material. I want to extract it for vendors as well. WF underscore say vendor underscore ext. I'm giving an example. Now, I want this and this to run in parallel. So I will not connect these two. If I want to run these in series, like I want this to finish first and then this should execute, then I will connect them in series. As of now, I don't want, so I will delete this. I will save and move inside MM. Now, we want to extract two tables. One is df underscore ext underscore Mara. Okay, there is already a name. So let me name it as something else. df underscore Mara underscore ext underscore 1. Something like that. And I want to extract my MAKT table as well. What is Mara? Mara is my header data. My materials are in Mara. That is the top level. Then come my description. Description goes into my MAKT table. A material can have the description in n number of languages, right? If a material is called a bottle in English, it may be called something else in German. So what we do, we can have for one material, we can have different types of descriptions, and those descriptions can be are in MKT table. Now, what's the requirement? I want to extract Mara only for FERT. I hope you guys are also doing this. I go to my ECC system. I get my Mara. Now I do this. I name it as maybe query. I connect this. And now let me drag all the fields. We will later on see what to load. I will select all these. I can either drag them here or drop them here, or I can right click and map to output. I want to have all these fields now. When you guys create your tables, please name them as, if I'm using LND underscore Mara underscore ext underscore 00, you guys use your respective repositories like underscore 1 underscore 2 underscore 3, whatsoever repository you are using. Now the step I told you, please remove this primary key. There can be a question, why do I always go there and remove my primary key? Anyone can answer? Just a hint, I can have more than one source system and my materials are coming from multiple source systems and I'm dumping them to a common table. This is the hint for you. Now tell me, why do I always remove this primary key whenever I am extracting my data?
To have duplicates.
Exactly. If there's a material number 1 coming from source A, I can have the material number 1 again coming from source B. How do I distinguish? I can over here have one more column. Something like I can do right click, new output column, insert above. I can say like Z stores. Then I can do something like varchar, maybe 40. Suppose for this particular data, I am extracting from source underscore A. Now, if my material number 1 again comes up from some other source, it will have source B, right? But if I keep this as a primary key, it will give me a primary key error. It cannot have one material number twice, right? It will give me an error. I will mostly go here and select distinct. Just a habit, nothing else. Now I do something like LND underscore MARA underscore EXT underscore 00. 00 is my repo name. Please keep 0102, whatever is your repo name. Now I will connect this with this. Now I have to use a filter, right? I want to expand this. So this is my target. This is my schema in, whatever is coming inside. So this is coming from the table. This is whatever I am selecting. If I'm not selecting anything, for example, I don't want mandatory. You see, this mandatory will turn into this blue colored thing, right? It means this is not mapped. If you are mapping it to the output, then there will always come a triangle, blue triangle. It means I'm mapping it to the target system. Now I want to use a filter over here. What do I want? I don't want any material that's marked for deletion. So I will say where this is not equal to X. I can use it like this. Or I can also say like this sign means not equal to X. Whenever, if you see the description, flag material for flag material for deletion at client level. It means this material has been marked for deletion. This has been flagged for deletion. This means not equal to. If you this L1 can only have two values, either null or blank or X. So by doing this, I am trying to tell this system I don't want any material to be extracted that has been marked for deletion. If I want to do just a thorough profiling on the source data, I will do this. What is profiling? Profiling is simply you are checking your data, just some basic checks. You can do that inside data services as well, like how many material types are there, how many distinct materials are there, right? So you see this L1 is blank, or if I want to profile, I right click on any column, I do a profile. Now this will tell me what are the different values there and what are the values. So this can either be space, it means this has not been marked for deletion. If it has been marked for deletion, it means it has, there will be always be a sign X. It means 178 materials have been marked for deletion. Now if you guys want to check how many records are there inside Mara, so there are 23,337 records. If you want to check how many distinct materials are there, you select on this, you update this. There will obviously be 23,337 because material is a primary key. Okay, this will tell you like what is the minimum value and what is the maximum value. If you want to check like how many L-worms are there, this will give the distinct values. Okay. Everyone who's doing this activity, are we on the same page? Like, are you done till now? Anyone who's lagging behind, needs help, please let me know. Anyone? Anyone needs help, or everybody is done till now?
I have created the projects, 4 projects so far.
Okay, then please, sir, go ahead and create these 4 jobs inside.
Yeah, while looking at
One will be
going to
for
remote desk is a little conflicting, that's why.
no issues, sir. No issues. Please create 4 different jobs, or what? Yeah, please do it. I don't want you to go later on, see the videos or recordings and then do it. If you face any issues right now, I can help you out. I'm trying to go as slow as possible. So now what I want to do is like, I want to have a filter criteria. So this will be like L1 not equal to X, right? It means I don't want any material that has been marked for deletion. Now I also want to have, and material type should be FERT. What is FERT? FERT is finished good. Let me come out. Let me save this. Let me check the data again. If they have marked it as FERT or there is any space. This is basics. I want everyone should be able to do this, you know. It will get more and more like, it will be we will be moving to different levels after that. This is level 1. So if you are missing this, it will be difficult later on. So any questions, anything you have, please ask. I would stop. How many? Yeah, we have 5,100 materials that are finished goods. Okay. Now I told you inside MAKT, I have the descriptions for all the materials. I don't want to get all those descriptions, right? Because I don't want to load them. I only want those material description which are not marked for deletion and which have material type FERT. So I will take use of this table because I already have this extracted over here. I will go.
Brad,
Yeah,
can you like pause for a bit, because like seeing you do it and then doing it, like just there is
please,
a
I will
lag.
wait.
Just give
No
us
issues.
like
I
just
will wait.
few minutes. I'm almost there.
Please, Saranya, take your time. I will wait. If I forget, just somebody please tell us the job optimization techniques from the source point of view. It, again, an important interview question. If I forget, ask me at the end.
So what is it,
job
Brad?
optimization.
Job
Job
optimization.
optimization. Yes. What are the different job optimization techniques?
Mhm.
So under the job JMMMEXT, you created a workflow, right?
Yes, sir. I already explained why I don't want to go straight from the data flow, because I can have when I create data flows, I can either connect them in series or in parallels.
Yeah.
If I
but,
connect them in, please
No,
listen.
I'm not asking the reason, but
Mhm.
when after I create, it is not appearing under the JBMMEXT, but it is appearing under the
Then
bottom.
you did something wrong, sir. You have to just click here or at the job level. Then you have to click here and get it here. If you created it inside something data flow or somewhere else, please delete that and recreate it
Okay,
inside
try
this.
again.
At the job level I wanted to create.
Okay, I'll try again. Thank you.
Saranya, can I move or you want me to stop? Still wait for you.
Can you just tell the conditions, Brad? Like one is LOEVM not equal to X, and what are the other condition that you have placed?
I will, sir. So
Yeah, the conditions are.
as of now, I want to only migrate materials that are not marked for deletion. If any material is marked for deletion, we do not migrate that. Simple. We do not migrate that. And as of now, for this case study, I want to only extract or migrate my materials that are finished goods.
Okay,
I'm just
fine.
giving an example. It's not like in your later on projects, you will feel you will not use this. I'm just trying to explain how to use this, and you know, I only want to migrate finished good materials.
Yeah, I'm good.
Brad, like after creating workflows, like how did we get to the BF Mara extension one? Like you created a job inside the workflow, is it?
See. I created a project, right? Then inside my project, look at the hierarchy. This is project at the top. Inside my project, 4 jobs are staying right now, right?
Yes.
Then inside my job, first job, see, it has 2 children now. One is WFMMEXT, this is a workflow. WF vendor EXT, this is a workflow. So I created 2 workflows inside my job. Then if I open this, nothing is here. If I open this, there are 2 data flows. They are in parallels. So the hierarchy is project at the top, job, workflow, data flow. And inside the data flow, I am doing the work. You cannot do anything outside the data flow. You see, if I go to WF, can you extract a query? No, you cannot use a query transfer. This has been grayed out. You cannot use it. So whatever has to happen, any logic, anything that has to go inside the data flow.
Data flow. Okay.
Okay. Please let me know once you guys do it. I will start again.
Yeah, we have to.
Okay. Now sometimes people say like, hey, you should do proper commenting. How do we do proper commenting in data services? Using annotation. So what I do, I will simply drag and drop it, and I can write my comments over here. I can write like extraction, just to remember things. Extraction job for material. I can write like extracting only material type equal to FERT and not marked for deletion. So this is just for commenting, so that if at any later point of time you want to understand what am I doing here, you remember. This is how we do the commenting using this option. This is called annotation. Can I move ahead?
Okay. We've extracted Mara, and from Mara you have just one condition, right?
No, I have two conditions, Saranya. I have two conditions. One is material not marked for deletion. That is L1 is not equal to X. And then material type should be equal to FERT. Now I will go to my MAKT. Same thing. I will go to my ECC. I will get my MAKT table. What is MAKT? You can see it over here, material description. So whenever you want to migrate the basic data, you can move Mara and you have to move MAKT. I will simply drag it, drop it. Now, again, I will use a query. I will do something like query underscore MAKT. I name it this way because it's very easy to manage code later on. If I use some joins after this query, it's easy for me. If I do something like query 1, query 2, I don't know from where the data is coming. This makes my code to be readable, more readable. And usually when we do code, when we write some code, there will always be some seniors who will be, what do you call that? They will be auditing your code. And it doesn't look nice when I say query 1, query 2, join, query 3, query 5, query 6. I don't understand what you are trying to do. When we do the transformations, I will show you how we name these queries so that it's very easy for us later on to do changes. If at some point of time I'm doing some transformation on material type, I have 10 different queries inside a data flow. At some later point of time, if I want to make any changes, it becomes very easy for me to do it. If you name these queries properly, please avoid using query 1, query 2, query 3. Now I want to get my MAKT. So what I will do, again, I will select everything, do this, then this, reverse the primary key. Let me save it till now. I might do select this thing. And now I will try to push this data where? Into LND underscore MAKT underscore EXT underscore 00. Please do it 01, 02, 03, whatever is your repository. Now I will do it. Like I want to drag this into this table, right? Now I already explained this MAKT has a dependency on Mara. I don't want a description for all my materials. I want to have my description for only the materials that we. Now, I don't want all my material descriptions. I only want the description for materials that are present in this table. Which materials are present in this table? That are not marked for deletion and which have a material type as FERT. That is finished code. So I will make use of this table now because inside MAKT, you don't have something like material marked for deletion and material type. So I will just right click on this, show in local repo. I will again tell this, right click on any table, show in local object library. I will simply get this table over here. Now I will join this here. The moment I join any two tables to a query transform, I need to tell it the join. Now you see the data is coming from two tables. If you see here, data is only coming from one table. So this has been grayed out. I don't want to do this because there is only one table. Now the moment this data is coming from two tables, I need to specify a join. Now what would be the join here? I would write Mara. No, I will only use, buddy, again, it depends on your understanding. I will never have a material in SAP which is not having a description. I can use a left outer join as well, but it's okay. I can use inner join as well. Why? Because there will never be a material in SAP without description. Now, if I was intending to extract Marcy a material can be extended to a plant or it cannot be extended to a
In
plant.
such case, we use
Yeah,
left rotor.
in those cases, I will use a left rotor join. But here, again, depending on your understanding, if you want to play safe, left rotor join. But if there is here I only want those materials which have FERT not marked for deletion. So I will prefer using inner join over here. Now I am done. I will go to my job level. I will do validate all. If you do validate, it's going to just validate this canvas, whatever is present here. But if you want to validate everything that is in this canvas and what is inside these two workflows, then I will click on this. This is validate all. Okay. This is telling me, giving me a warning. What? WF vendor ext does not perform any operation. It's okay. I don't want to do it right now. So let me run this now. I right click on the job. As I told you, job is the only executable object or unit inside data services. You can either do this, execute, or you can click on this job or execute it from here. This is also okay. I do it like this and then I do okay. Let me extract the two tables. I want to focus on extraction today. So please be focused and ask me questions if you don't understand anything.
Still the same issue for us, like
Yeah,
job server.
I got it, sir. If you are unable to execute, it's okay. Keep your jobs validated. After this session, I will connect with Manoranjan and I will get these three repos corrected. One is DS8, DS5, DS1, and DS3. I know these four have issues. For rest, I don't know if it's working or not. For these four, I will get it done. Now, for this particular Mara, this is my source. If I see the number of records, I had 23,337, but I didn't extract everything here, right? I'm expecting it less because I already extracted FERT and not marked for deletion. If I see the number of records, only 5,031. It means only 5,031 records are there which have material type FERT and which is not marked for deletion. If I do a profiling on LWM, you see only one is there, which is that space. It means blank. If I want to do a profiling on MTAT, that is material type, it will only be one. What is that? FERT. If you want to profile, I want to profile on material type. Say material type. Update. Only one. If I want to have a filter on maybe MATCL, material group, there are so many. Space is there, 001, 01. I can have the profiling based on unit of major. So please remember these things. What is MATCL? MATCL is material group. What is means? Means is unit of major. What is MTAT? One who is new to SAP. These are some basic things. I want to have a lookup on means. Means is unit of major. So whenever you create a material, it has to get a unit of major. How you are going to sell it? Whether you want to sell it in kgs, you want to sell it in liters, pieces. That's what means does. Means is just like the unit. Okay, you want to sell it in ST means piece. PC is also piece. EA is each, kg. And for all these things, we can go to the check table or configuration table and we can check what does this mean. Now, let me go to MAKT. If I show you MAKT, how many descriptions? Okay, it's 2 lakh, 219,000, right? But I didn't want all the descriptions. I wanted only for FERT. Okay, why is it telling me there is no? Did I give the join correctly? Yeah, it should have the description.
Maybe with the one language, there are multiple descriptions for the same material with
That's
different
okay.
languages.
That's okay, buddy. I think the issue is it's not taking up the join,
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Let's see. MAKT Matnar left. Got it. Sometimes what happens is like, because of these Chinese characters, it does not load this. Let me see if this is the issue. I'm not expecting. Yeah, let me run it again. I connected this. I'm not connecting this, buddy. I'm sorry. Since there's a dependency, no data is here in the first place. That's the reason it's not even loading it. So there's a dependency. MAKT has a dependency on this table. So this table should get loaded first. Then this data flow should run. Otherwise, in the first run, there is no data. That's the reason it's not picking up. So that's what I was explaining. Whenever there's a dependency of one data flow on some other table, so I will keep them in series. I want this to get executed first and then this to get executed. Why? Because there's a dependency on this table. This should be fairly easy for everybody, right? This is just the basics. Simple. Simply extracting the tables. I don't expect anyone to have issues till now. If anyone is facing issues or he's not able to understand, please speak up.
Here.
Yeah, Ila, please go ahead.
Actually, I added the MARC and the MAKT both and up to the template. In the query level, you are asking to write a query. So that one, I written the code, but after that, how to execute.
How about you sharing your screen, sir, and then we taking a quick look at it.
Yeah, I'm sure. Can you stop this?
Yeah, I already stopped. Okay, what's the issue? Okay, what's the issue? Okay, you created
after this, I written a query here.
Okay, what's the query? No, you cannot use double quotes. Double quotes means you are trying to tell BODS X is a column. No, you cannot write select L1 not equal to X. Sir, a BODS for select, there is already a select. So you write, say, just drag and drop L1. Open that Mara table. Now drag L1. There is L1 maybe at 6th or 7th. No, it's on the top. It's on the top, sir. 4th now. Yes, L1, drag and drop it to the where clause. Perfect. Equal to inside single quotes. Sorry, not equal to. Not equal to is the sign that I have already shown. Why? No, don't change anything. Yeah, now after L1, not equal to. Now single quotes, capital X. It doesn't understand double quotes. It takes double quotes as a field. So this is how it should look. Perfect. Makes sense now?
No,
why did you name it as land_ext? I was expecting you to do it like LND_Mara_ext1 or something like that. How do I know which table is this? You try to extract Mara, but you're not even giving the proper name. If somebody is trying to just click on this magnifying glass and finding this error, it means the code has not been run yet. So it cannot find this. No, you cannot rename, sir. Unfortunately, you have to do right click. Okay. Rename doesn't work here. No. Go to the table Right click on this land ext. Right click. Right, no, not here. I'm not, yeah, right click here. Show in local repository. In BODS, you cannot rename tables. No, you cannot rename, I'm telling you. Show in local object library.
Okay.
Show, perfect. Now right click again there. Not here. In the local, no sir, in the local object library. Right click there. On your bottom left corner, there is your object library. When I want to say canvas, you want to go to this thing. When I say local object library, it's there on the bottom left corner. Can you see LA something highlighted? Now click on, right click on this again, delete it. Data services does not rename. Delete it, yes. Now remove it from your canvas and remove it from your canvas and create a table once again. Go inside Mara. Go inside DF Mara. Perfect. You would see a cross sign. Do you? No? It means this table was not even created. Delete it from there. LANDEXT. Just delete that. It's okay. Just delete it. Not here, sir. Go inside. No. Go inside the data flow. Delete it. Yes. Hit delete. Delete. Even your delete option works. Yeah. Now drag one. Create a new table. LND underscore Mara underscore EXT underscore 1 or 01.
EXT, yeah.
Anything, yeah, underscore 01. 00 is my table, underscore 01 is your table, underscore 02 can be somebody else's table.
Now I need to map.
Yes, now join this and save this. Can you save this? Save. No. Okay. There is already an option. No need to do it like this. There is already an option save all. Yes, please save it. Wait a second. I want to tell you something. Okay. If you sometimes don't see a magnifying glass, you see a magnifying glass appearing now for LND Mara EXT. If this magnifying glass does not appear, no, don't click on that. It means you have not mapped anything inside the query.
Okay.
Just remember it. Whenever you have some schema in and schema out inside query, then only you can see a magnifying glass. If you don't see it, then it means it's an error. You have to map it. You have to map the incoming schema to the output. Sir, please stop sharing your screen now. I want to go ahead from where I left.
Yeah, Brad, quick second. Can I share my screen?
Please, sir, go ahead. Naren, please, yeah, please. If anyone has any questions, please speak up. You can share a screen. We can take it from there.
Yeah, it looks like I missed a step of the table. I did this. Can you please?
No. See, what you have done is you created a project, perfect. Then you created 4 jobs, perfect. Then you created inside extract, you created 2 workflows. Now, see, in your ETL process, you need to have a source. For us,
Right.
the source is inside data store.
Yeah.
Go to data store. If you see the local object library, don't do anything, sir. You are perfectly doing fine. If
Okay.
you don't do anything, just go inside DF Mara ext1, double click.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect. Now go to the local object library. This is the project area where your mouse is right now. Just below that, there is one more area which we call local object library. Go to local object library.
Where this one?
Yeah, this is HANA. Now can you see projects, jobs, workflow, data flow, transform, data store? Bottom, just go down, extreme down. Can you see different tiles? Yeah,
Okay,
one is
on the
project.
bottom?
Yes. This is workflow. Next to it is data flow. Next to it is transform. Next to it is data store. Click on data store. Perfect. Now for us, SAP ECC is the source. Agree? Now drag this source and get it into the canvas. Drag and drop.
No, it's not coming.
It should, because it has to be there. Just drag and drop. You click on there and drag it. Perfect. Now connect it to the query. Connect the output from Mara to the query.
This one to query?
No, not like this. You see a blue square button over there? blue square button at the end. Yes, yes, yes. You can see a pencil coming up. Yes, perfect.
Right.
Now join it with the query input. Query input. Yes, there is one triangle. That means input. On the left hand side is input. No. There's a blue triangle. Just left. Perfect. Leave it. Now, perfect. Now we join Mara with the query. Now inside the query, double click on the query and select all the fields, whatever fields you want to migrate.
Select all and drop. Right here. I can drop like this.
Just a moment, sir. So yeah, don't select Mara as well.
Oh,
You have to, perfect. Now drag and drop it. Perfect. Now go to the Matner, the second field, right click and remove the primary key. Click on primary key. I told you the reason why we do this, because if we have more than one source system, we don't want the primary key error. Now go to the where clause.
This one also.
No, I don't need the. No, don't do this. Whenever there's a primary key, there will be a key-like symbol over there. It's not there, so we don't worry about that. So now you have select from and where. Go to where clause. I want you to drag lworm, that is flag material for deletion, from the source schema and drop it here.
This one?
Yes, perfect. And I want you to write not equal to inside and write not equal to. Not equal to is those brackets, big ones. Yes, perfect. Not equal to inside single quotes, write X. It means material should not be marked for deletion. Perfect. Single quote. Then after give a space and write and.
And?
Yeah, write and. Now drag mtart, material type.
Material.
Mtart is next to lworm. Drag and drop this. Equal to fert, half a, anything you like. Inside the single quotes in caps.
What is that?
Inside single quotes, right? FERT, fert. It means finished goods. Perfect. Now go back one step back. There's an option to go back. Just on top, right? Go to the right. Perfect. Yes. Now connect this output to your end table. Connect the output of query to your LND Mara ext0. Now, no. Why did you create 00, sir? 00 I am using.
Oh.
It's okay. Now you do it later. Or no, please change it.
Change the.
Yeah. Delete it. Please create LND Mara ext underscore the repo you are using. You are using 04. Create one more table. No, you can create it from the template. Why are you going there? There's a palette over there on the extreme right.
Extreme right.
There's a palette, right? There are so many options. One being go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th option is temporary table or template. Simple. Yeah. Click on this, then click. No, it will not drag and drop. Yeah, perfect. Click once and then click second time inside the canvas. Guys who have already done it, I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
I know like you guys have done it, but some people are lagging behind. But trust me, this is beginning, so it would happen. If anyone, if you need help, I will stop for you as well. So please don't mind this. Yes, sir. Please write LND underscore
right?
LND underscore Mara underscore ext underscore 04. Now, can you show me what options you are getting inside in data store? Click on the options, drop. No, don't hit OK. Don't hit OK. I want you to show me the options you are getting. So you see, you are getting two options because you have to select the second one, because we all are migrating it, dumping it to the second DB. Click on OK. Now join the output with the input of table. Now save it. Why is it happening? Or you can right click on the query, connect to L&D Mara. Yeah, this can also work. Perfect.
Yeah.
Now save it. Now you have to save all. Save all. No, why are you? No, please save it all.
No, where is the save button?
Can you see the project edit view? There you have. Yeah, this is the option. Perfect.
Yeah.
Save all. Save. Now I hope you remember how to extract MAKT and use this join, right? Yeah, you stop sharing your screen. I will share it. I will share mine now, and then we'll take it.
Okay, thank you.
From there. Thank you so much. Yeah, no problem. So I was here, right? Now my job has run. Then you have to simply do something like you have to get the MAKT. Again, you have to use the query. Then you need to use this already extracted table. How do you use that? You will go here. This would be your table, LND Mara underscore ext underscore 04. You will do something like this. Show in local repo. You will get this highlighted over here. Then inside your MAKT, you need to drag it so that you can use it with the join. I told you the reason for using the join because I don't want to have the description for each and every material. I want to have the descriptions for only my materials which have material type as FERT and that are not marked for deletion. So I will use a join between this and MAKT. Okay, now I have the data. So how many? 42,000 records I have, because for 42,000 records, these all materials, they will be of material type FERT and the material will not be marked for deletion. Okay. This completes my extraction for the material master. Now I want to show you, I want to go inside vendor just for the sake of learning. I don't want to touch vendors as of now, but I want to show you why I did something like inside my job. I kept two sorry, what do we call them? Workflows. I told you I can have sometimes I want to extract some data flows in series and some in parallels, right? Inside my material, I am extracting these two in series because there's a dependency. Now, what if I want to go inside my vendors? I don't have any dependency. I want to just extract LFA1 and LFB1. For example, this is my, vendor. Now inside my vendor, there will be df underscore LFA1 underscore ext. Now there is no dependency. Whatever vendor is there, so for all the freshers, what is LFA1? This is my header data for vendor. What is LFB1? This is my company code data for my vendor. So whenever you have a vendor created, it will first go to LFA1. Then if you are extending it to a company code, it will be there in LFB1. Now I don't want to connect them. Why? Because I want to extract all my vendors, and then I want to extract all my company codes for those vendors. So what I will do, LFA1. I will join this. I will do something like LND underscore LFA1 underscore EXT underscore 00. Okay. I will do this. Out of my habit, I will always do this, like go to options, do yes. The reason sometimes there can be some characters like Chinese and all, it gives me an error. Now I want to do the same thing for LFB1. I don't have any dependency. I will do this. I will do this. I will just name it as LFB1. Okay. Go inside this. I forgot to get all my fields. So let me do something like Lifner. Lifner is vendor number. Now,
Brad, is there a reason you selected from Riffner? We don't have to select the mandatory one, MANDT?
so I see mandatory is like this is just inside the SAP systems, you will have mandatory, or this we all called as client 100, client 200. It makes no sense to us.
Okay.
Sometimes in the systems it can be like they keep different mocks data in the same system. They will use the same S4 system, but for mock 1 they will use client 100. For mock 2 they will use client 200. So in those cases, what we will do, we will just mention it over here. Okay, where mandatory is equal to 100. But most of the time it doesn't matter to us. We don't care about this client from where this is coming. But yeah, sometimes they keep it like 100 is for mock 1, 200 is for mock 2. Then we will only they will extract the data into some systems, into some, they will not give the access to their respective, what do we call that, live systems. They will create one more system where they will replicate the data. They will replicate UK data and keep it in client 100. Now the same as for HANA system, sorry, same system, SAP system, they will extract from US, keep client 200. Now, if you want to migrate data for UK, they will simply tell you, okay, use the client 100, use the client 200. Then at those times, we use this mandatory, or this is client. You see, this is client.
Okay.
But 99% of the times, you will not use this.
So we don't need to map it also. Yeah.
We don't map it. Mandatory, never I mapped. Only once, sorry, I only mapped it once. So what is Lifner? Lifner is vendor number. What is Bookras? Bookras is company code. Now LFB1, I will select these two. I will do reverse primary key. I will go to my data flow level. I will again go to this level, options. And I will do this thing. Now I save everything. Now, how am I designing my job? Let me go to the job level first. Let me do validate all. So there is no error. So how I want to design my job as of now is, I want to extract my material master, but since there's a dependency of Mara on MAKT, so I will keep them in series. I will just extract my materials here, which are not marked for deletion, and material type is FERT. Then I will extract the description for only those materials. Now my second case scenario is, I want to move all my vendors. So I don't have a dependency now. I will migrate, I will extract all these, I will extract all these company codes in a single shot. I don't want to keep them like this. If I keep this, then this will run first, this will run second. But since there is no dependency, we are wasting time. So I want my job to be as optimized as possible. If there is dependency, keep them in series. If there is no dependency, keep them in parallels. But sometimes if you are extracting big tables like BKP or BSEC, EQUI, these are some big tables. You have so much of data over there. If you try to run them all in parallels, you might break down the job server. In such cases, we prefer to run in series. Otherwise, if there is no dependency, you will just run them in parallels. But if there is a dependency in series, if the data volume is huge, run them in series. Okay. Again, someone might ask you, why do you run how do you run your data flows in series and parallels, and why do you do that? Then there is one use case scenario. Even if there is no dependency for huge volume data tables, we still run them in series. Now I want to run this. Okay. Now what will happen? This data flow and this data flow, both will get executed at the same time. But when my control or when my data services goes inside material master, it will first extract Mara, then MAKT. But when it goes to my vendor, it will extract both at the same time. You can even see that here. You see, LFA1 and LFB1 already executed, but MAKT is getting executed now. Why? Because there was a dependency. It did not get triggered at the same time when Mara got executed. Mara is done. Then after Mara, my MAKT is getting extracted because there was a dependency. You see? Now there might be one more case. What if in your job there's a global job? What do you call what is a global job? Global job is you are extracting all the tables inside a single job. You are extracting all the check tables inside a single job. So there are some global jobs always in your data migration project. For example, you want to extract all the xrefs, you want to extract all the lookup tables from S4 HANA, or you want to extract your tables from ECC, and everything would be in a single job. Now, what if I want to extract only for materials? I don't want to extract for vendors today. I want to extract my materials today, and tomorrow I want to extract my vendors. Or there might be a case, hey, they made some changes to the vendors. Out of say 60 objects, they made some changes to the vendors. I want my jobs to be refreshed only for vendors. In those cases, we take the help of conditional workflows. How do we do them? I will show you. Let it run first. You see how much this is impacting? One, the series, keeping them in series. Second, the join. I want to conclude this session by something called job optimization. How do we do that? I will show you. And this is very important from the interview point of view. Are you guys understanding whatever I'm trying to say? Or am I going too fast, too slow? Any feedback?
Yeah. It's fine, Brad. Like, if we look at the video link which was shared by the team, it would be better. Like, I mean, basics are covered, like what is local object library and all.
Yes, sir. No, that's on the tech team, support team. They will share that definitely with you. I just want to understand if I'm going slow, too fast, if you guys are understanding.
Yeah, it's okay, but I'm good with the pace.
How about others? A quick feedback, maybe? Is it fine for you guys, the way we are going ahead in this training, doing these live sessions, like helping you to extract these tables, making you like segregating the time, telling you the theory in the first part, and then going through these hand-holding sessions? How is it? Is it fine?
Yeah.
Brad.
Yes,
But I
Brad.
think we need two computers. For one is like your session, look at the presentation, and
Sir,
other one remote desktop.
I wish I was so rich that I would gift
No,
you
not
all
you.
the
Our side.
the second computer. No, sir, you don't need.
You can
you
use
don't-
mobile and also you can use your computer.
No, it's not needed. If you attend
Two monitors
all
we
your
can use, but
sessions,
it's
sir,
not easy.
if you attend all sessions, I don't think that's needed. You know, if you join late and if you don't attend a session, then you are lagging behind. Then you need to see, hey, what is he doing? It will definitely impact. But trust me, if you if you join this session daily, it would be a cakewalk. Whosoever misses the session on information steward, definitely I'm not going to repeat that because it takes a lot of efforts. Now tell me how he will learn about that. He has to go to the trainings, and if he has any questions, come back, learn again more tasks for him and myself. So please join all the sessions. I'm already past 11, but I don't care. You know, I want you guys to understand. I want to go slow. Simple. If you are coming to these sessions, I want you to take back something. As simple as that. But please be regular and try to complete these activities. Now the question is, what if I want to only extract materials? I don't want to extract vendors. For that, we have something called as conditional workflow. You see, there is something called a condition. It will only execute based on some condition. Let me click on this and let me get it here. I will name it as CWF. These are naming conventions, and you should always follow the naming conventions so that people understand what you are trying to do. If I do something like conditional workflow material master extract, conditional workflow underscore vendor underscore extract. Now your conditional workflow has to be in series. You cannot keep anything in parallels now. Okay. Now I always remember, do not copy something and go inside here and paste. No, please don't do that. Sometimes what data services does is like it replaces the table name by underscore -1. You are you are naming your n tables as lnd mara ext. It will replace it by lnd mara ext underscore 1. and then you will have trouble in your joins. So best approach is you want this inside this. Now what I will do right click, show in local repo. I will delete it from here. I will drag it back here. Okay. Same thing here. Right click. Now this is not letting me work. Local repo. Delete it from here. I go inside this vendor. Now there is a, can you see there is something like if, then, else. I will name something like dollar. Dollar is always to be used for global variables. I will use a variable now. If global variable underscore material equal to yes. I am trying to tell my system if global variable underscore material is equal to yes, then extract this. If this is no, then nothing happens. Now I am telling this conditional workflow, if global variable underscore vendor is equal to yes, then only migrate this. Okay, then only extract this. Inside else, I'm not writing anything. If I go to the job level and I do a validate all, it will ask me, hey, I do not find this global variable vendor and global variable vendor. If you want to go to the error, go to the error, because I want to change this vendor. Okay, now where do I define these global variables? I define them at the job level. I go to my job and I hit this one, variables. This is local object library. This is central object library. And this is my variables. I will hit variables. Then I will go to global variables, right click, insert. I will name it as global variable, material, varchar. You give the length you want. I want to give it no. I will only give it yes at the runtime so that I can control what I will extract. Now I will replicate this. I don't want to give all the details again. I want to only give it global variable underscore vendor. I will give it okay. Now I have two global variables. Always, this will always start with dollar, and as a naming convention, we will always start it with G. If you want to name it as GV, it's okay. G, still okay. Now I save it. Now I do a validate all. Perfect, no error. Now, the moment I run this, I will go to my global variables. This is the global variable. As of now, material is no, vendor is no. If I do yes, if I run it, nothing is going to work. See, job MMEXT is successful. You don't see a trace over here. Why? Because nothing executed. If I want to execute it, I want to only execute vendor. I go inside, I change this Y to Y because I have written in the condition if global variable vendor is equal to Y, then only extract vendors. Now I select this. You see, now LFA1 and LFB1 are getting executed. You can see the trace. Now both LFA1 and LFB1, they are done. If in the second run, I want to run this again, I want to only extract material. I can again go here, change this no to yes. I want to run both. I can select both. See, as of now, you have only two. You can go to this and do yes, come out. Go to this, do yes, come out. But if you have 50, 60 variables and if you want to do them in a single go, select all, whatever you want to run, right click, update value, update the value to the value you want. Okay, now, yes, both will run. Now both material, see, Mara is also running and my second one should also run, right? Because I have given yes to both. So my Mara and MAKT, I am expecting LFA1 to run as well. I think I give yes to both, right? Or I give yes to one only. Okay, since now the conditional workflows are in series, right? It will first finish the first workflow, conditional workflow, then it will come to vendor. As of now, it's trying to execute Mara. Mara is done, then MAKT will execute because those two are in series. The moment it finishes MAKT, it will trigger both LFA1 and LFB1 together. But since conditional workflows only work in series, they don't work in parallels. That's the reason you cannot see like Mara MAKT vendor, everything is getting executed in a single go. No. This is just like a workflow, but with a condition. I was discussing about the what do you call this? Job optimization techniques. What is a job optimization? Job
To interrupt, just one query. Like instead of having two conditional flows, we can have one conditional flow. In if block, we can keep material master, and else block we can keep vendor master.
You can do anything, sir, but I won't recommend you doing that, because if whenever you run your job, the moment you don't give yes, it
Okay.
will always go to else, right?
Yeah.
Even if you don't want to run your vendor, you will still end up running it.
Okay.
As of now, you have two, you can have 50, 60. What if I have customer, vendor, material, bomb, pricing, everything here? Then it's better you leave this empty and keep it over here. You can do whatever you want, but if you tell me personally, I don't do anything inside else, because I want to be crystal clear. If I want to run materials, it should only get executed when I'm giving yes. Nothing should happen inside Y. This conditional workflow comes handy in case of loads. If you sometimes hit this execute button by mistake, you can mess up the target system. So it's always better to keep these global variables. Unless and until you do not explicitly turn this to yes, your load should not start, so that you are, I mean to say, you are 100% secured. Is this done? Yes, is this done? This is done.
40 to n, and whenever we are executing, we have to change it to y.
Yes, sir. I will always keep this by default n and then change it to y at the runtime. That is like making myself secure. I don't want to have any issues. What if I keep them as yes? Sometimes by mistake I run the job and then I am posting my 1 million IDOCs to the target system. That's not, I mean to say, that does not make sense to me. I want to be sure. As of now, you are doing the extract, it's easy. You did some extraction, anyways, is going to be in my HANA DB. But the moment you have your load jobs, I don't want to take any risk. I will be short when I'm hitting my S4 HANA system or target system. Now I want to come back to my job optimization techniques. One of the most important questions asked in 90% of the interviews. Whenever you go for any interview, they will ask you job optimization techniques. So whenever somebody asks you about this question, always tell him there are three ways how you can optimize your job. One is extraction end, one is transformation end, one is load end. You can optimize your code in three different ways. I will only hit extraction today. I don't want to discuss the second part and third part. How you can optimize your code from the extraction point of view. The first optimization is simply you want to make your code run faster. Why do we want to code run? Why do we want our code to run faster? Because in each and every data migration project, there will always be blackout periods. What is a blackout period? It's like they have a window for finance objects. They want to move those things in 2 days, weekends, Saturday, Sunday. So they will not wait for an extraction job to run for 12 hours. They have huge data. They want their code to be as optimized as possible so that we can complete extraction, transformation, and load within 2 days. So it becomes very important for us to make sure our code is fast. Whatever we can do, we will do it. So what are the different job optimization techniques from the source end? I will go inside my data flow first. I will hit my source table. I will change this array fetch size from 1000 to 5000. This is one technique. Array fetch size should be changed from 1000 to 5000. This is now, instead of picking of 100 records, it will pick 1000 records, it will pick up 5000 records. That is array fetch size. From the target point of view, if you don't see this option, please go to bulk loader option and untick this bulk load. Then I will change this to 5000 again. Now what does this mean? I'm rows per commit. How many rows it can commit in a single go? Now I change this to 5000. This is first step. Going to array fetch size, change this from 1000 to 5000. Going to target table, go to options, rows per commit, 1000 to 5000. I go to my data flow level. I do something like properties. Inside the property, degree of parallelism is default. I change this to 4. Apply. Okay. I will do the same thing for this data flow and whatsoever data flow you are using. If you want to optimize your code from the source point of view, these are the 3 different things you can do. The 4th thing is you can also have a push down optimization. What is push down optimization? Data, whatever transformations or whatever logics have to be done, they will be executed at the server, at the database level, not at the server level. If your server is, if you're running your jobs on the server, you don't want any, complex logics happening. Why? Because it will take time. That's the reason we simply dump, lift and shift our data from ECC and dump it into HANA Studio. In the second jobs, we transform it, validate it, because moving data from HANA Studio to HANA Studio is easy. But whenever we want to shift our data from some SAP system, it takes time. So it's always advisable you don't use any transformations over here. Simply do one-to-one mapping. So what happens by doing this is, mostly it happens like when the volume is huge, it will go and do the push down optimization and your code will run faster. Again,
like where conditions and all, right? That should be fine.
The where condition is okay, that is okay, but that's not job optimization. That is your filter criteria.
Yeah.
If you want to push or if you want to make sure your code is running fast, then these are the 4 techniques we use from the source point of view, from the extraction point of view. When I ask someone, now when we usually ask in our interviews what are the job optimization techniques, then people only tell me, hey, I can push down. That's it. But that's not the complete answer. You can optimize your code from the source point of view or extraction point of view, transformation point of view, and then from the load point of view. I want to touch base only on the extraction part because we are doing extraction as of now. When we hit transformation and load, I will explain those things as well. But please remember this. How do we optimize?
Brad,
What
what's
happens
the flip side? I'm sorry. What's the flip side for this? Like, is there any upper limit? What you change from 1,000 to 5,000?
See, 1,000 to 5,000. I always use 1,000 to 5,000. I don't go beyond that because I have to take care of my job server as well, right? If I do it more, I have never tried beyond 5,000 to be honest, but I won't do that. Again, from this degree of parallelism, if you do it more than 5, I think it will give you an error. So that's the most thing. What it does is like it will assign 4 threads to it. Now, if 1 thread was assigned to your task, it was taking 10 minutes. Now doing 4, it will reduce your time by maybe 3 or 4 times.
Just one query, Brad. Like this degree of parallelism, you applied it to one particular data flow, right? So that particular data flow.
No. See, sir. If these are in series, I told you can do here as well. That's okay. Do this here as well. Now what happens is like this and this have been to change the degree of parallelism from 1 to 4. This is in series. It doesn't matter. But if more data flow, 10, 50 data flows are in parallels, don't do this. You will hit the job server.
Okay, only degree of parallelism has to be applied in case of series.
Yeah, you can say like that. But if there are 50, 60 data flow, they are running already in parallels, Why would you change the degree of parallelism then? It will simply have an impact on the job server, right?
Yeah.
This is just to make your code fast, run fast. Any questions before we wind up this session? Already 20 minutes extra. I'm really sorry for it.
Brad, this could be like very basic and maybe a stupid question, but what just by looking at it,
sir, please don't tell me any question is not stupid. Please keep on asking. I also learn
yeah,
from you guys. See, I didn't know BTP, so I will learn about it.
no, but
Please go
just
ahead.
by looking at it, I could sense that we are just barely scratching the surface. As more and more, let's say, source system will increase, or we will go more deeper into it, the complexity will increase, right? So, what I wanted to
If-
know for a scenario where if a client coming from SAP going to SAP, I mean from ECC to S4 or whatever, do we really need to spend time and cost for achieving all this? So why can't we just take the data and pass it along to SAP? What's the harm in it? Like whatever the time, like you are mentioning, it's hard to get the resources. It takes time. It's a complex job. Why can't we just take the data from old system and just pass it on to new system?
Sir, you please check the real DDT and check the complexities over there. The one I am showing you right now is simply like do not migrate a material mark for deletion, right?
Correct.
The moment you go to downstream object, go to pricing, you go to BOM, you go to OpenAP, OpenAR, it's not this simple. How can you perform those complex operations? How can you get into the real data that I want to load?
So what I'm trying to understand is, what if we just take the data and just dump it on S4 because the new processes are already set?
No, sir. I will not. I will never advise anyone to do that because each and every system will have bad data. I don't want my S4 HANA system to be slowed down again and have bad data into it. Then we are again losing the very cause of migrating the data. Why do we usually migrate the data? Because we want to get rid of one bad data. We want clean data to be in the S4 HANA system. And if we are again lifting and shifting, it makes no sense. The moment you have more than one source system, legacy SAP ECC system, you cannot do it. Pump and dump. Sorry, lift and shift. You cannot do it.
But like the way I'm thinking is like with S4, more more innovation or more value is coming out of new processors being set, new functionality what S4 is providing. If you just have extra data, what will it create harm? I'm just trying to understand the case study. If you have any case like because of bad data,
I will tell you. My client decides I will only move the finance data for last 10 years, but the company is existing since 125 years. Now you imagine the volume of data that's not going to go there. Now my client is telling me, okay, I don't want to move beyond 10 years. I figured out, hey, there are some open orders, there are some open sales contracts. Now what will happen? Who will tell them all this? If they blindly take 10-year data and go there, or if they blindly take all the data and go there, how does it make sense? If you see real DDTs, you will see how the complex these objects are. And when you see these BKPF and BSEGs or finance data, you will see what the volume of actual data looks like. It's not easy to migrate all SECC and migrate it to S4. Now I gave you an example yesterday, intercompany transactions happening. They migrate duplicate vendors to S4 HANA system now. Now what's the point? ECC is having a vendor and customer separate thing. Now S4 HANA is having a BP. Again, I take Brad as vendor, Brad as customer, create two BPs in my target system, and I'm in a fix later on. Had it been the case, I don't think anybody would be like craving for these good consultants or migration consultants. It's not that easy.
No, it is not. That's what I'm trying to understand. It's definitely not. It doesn't look easy, and I'm sure it is not easy. But that's what I'm trying to get at, trying to understand the flip side. What if you just avoid this cost and time?
Sir, I gave you an example. You understand, you try to understand me. There's a company who's doing business since 200 years. Any oil and gas major, you take in US or Canada, any oil and gas major, they have been working since 100 plus years. Now they want to migrate finance data. I'm giving you a real case scenario. They want to migrate finance data, and they have data for 150 years now or 180 years now. But if I go by your, I'm going to say understanding, I lift and shift data. Do you expect me to move 180 years data to SAP system? Do you want me to migrate closed purchase orders, closed sales orders? Do you want me to migrate one-time vendors, one-time customers, duplicate data? Do you?
Are they already on ECC?
Definitely they are. Whenever you go for the finance object, you can ask any finance guy. I think there are some finance guy over here in this meeting, right? So whenever we migrate finance data, they do not take all the data. They take only 5 years, 6 years, 7 year, 8 year, 9 year, 10 year, depending on the call. But you think some clients having 180 years data in their system. You think about it. Now don't tell me,
No,
sir,
but
SAP was not there before 180 years. It is before maybe some
no,
10
no,
years. They can
no,
have
no,
data
yeah.
from Excel migrated there.
No, yeah, absolutely. That's not I'm getting at. So if they are coming from SAP, then can't we just skip the transform step and just extract and load it?
Okay.
Why do
Sir,
we need to perform a
why do we need
change
to?
again?
Okay, suppose my client had 600 plants in US. Out of 600 plants, his 100 plants are not profitable. He wanted to dismantle those plants. What will happen? How will my materials migrate if I don't transform the plant now? What will happen if I'm doing a task of deduplication? How will I migrate how will I extend those loser vendors or loser materials or loser customers to my S4 HANA system without the actual transformation? What if my client decides, hey, I don't want to have these sales organizations in my target system? I don't want to work with these sales organization. I will only have this set of data. What will happen to my legacy data now? How will I transform this if I just extract data, load data?
No, makes sense. Yeah.
This we are in that circle. We have to extract, we have to transform, and then we can only load, because data is the big thing these days, and it will always be in focus now. Without data, even if you want to feed an AI system, you need data, right? Now SAP has something like they are coming up with some AI on top of S4. They need data for
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I was thinking about that. I was like thinking about like if we have a bad data, then in future if they build something like AI process, then that won't be leading to a correct output, right? If you have not good data, then AI will
But
definitely.
again, any I don't think this will be completely redundant like what we are doing right now. Maybe down the line 10, 20 years, but I don't see it in the near future, like way guys becoming redundant, some AI systems doing everything on its own. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to complex scenarios, then I don't think anything is better than human mind.